welcome to this day 3, part 2 of the Texas v. Dykes. And I told you yesterday I was not sure I was going to stream today due to severe weather, but as it seems, I can. Yay! And, well, yesterday we saw 2 testimonies, and finally, some actual evidence was brought to court. But, in my humble opinion, most of it pointed to Chucky. So it's weird. It is really, really weird, in my opinion. Let's see here. Let's bring the chat so I can see you all. Dun, dun, dun. And over at Rumble. And I am live at Rumble as well. Yeah. Let's copy. If you have Rumble account, there it is. If you could go over just to say something. And so we can see all the things on all the things. Okay. And let's start. Let's start with positive news. Hold on while I get myself a beer, because it is 7 p.m. here and I earned it. As you all know, throughout this week we have done a little fundraising to Gigi, my first and best moderator. And you all know, if you have been here throughout this, that she got ill a month and a half ago, and that destroyed her economy. So I decided, without her knowing, to conduct this fundraiser to her, so she could get a decent Christmas and maybe pay off some bills. And here are the results. A bunch of people sent cash to my PayPal, and here are the actual numbers. You can see it all here. Everything that came in. And here is the total. A total of not less than $576.43. And that, you can see here, is the amount I sent over just a few minutes ago. So that allows Miss Gigi to be able to pay off some bills and have a decent Christmas. So thank you all for your donations. This will continue this stream as well. But I wanted to send this over to her now, because it is just past noon where she is. So she can get a nice surprise once she checks her PayPal account. And yeah, so thank you all. And this is on top of what I sent over to her the moment I learned of this. So in total, it is Bittens, 628, something like that. So thank you all for allowing me to have this fundraiser for Gigi, and thank you all for donating to her. It's very much, very, very much appreciated. Yeah, Brandon, $567.43 was donated throughout my streams. I was trying to con you into getting drunk to send over more money. Well, anything, if more cash gets sent during this stream, I will pass it over to her. But you're very welcome to try to to try. Yes. Yeah. So, here's Gigi. Hey, Gigi. I just sent over what was donated Monday through Thursday, but also what will happen is even during this stream is if more gets donated, I will send that over too. And hold on while I do this. PayPal. There. So everything that comes in through in this stream as well, I will send right over. All right. So thank you, everybody. And yeah, thank you so much. It's much appreciated. Okay, let's get back to the trial, the actual trial. Hold on while I stop that screen. Here, dun dun dun, dun dun dun, dun dun dun. Add to stage. Full screen. Sound. All right. Well, we are joining them now directly after lunch on day 3, and they are going right to it in some shape or form. So let's start listening. Sworn in, no sound, because why not?
Madeline, you're here because you have a relationship with Charles Beltran, known as Chuck, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And have you answer out loud, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, instead of yes, no, answers like that. Do you recall about when you met Charles?
I don't know exactly the day, but I met him at a club.
Okay, you met him at a club? And was that back in 2020?
Yes.
Okay, kind of the later
Apparently will not be shown.
And when you saw Charles, how did you guys meet?
I remember I saw him with his friends, and I saw them leaving, so I went outside as I was leaving too, and that's where we saw each other, and that's how we met.
That's how you met. And Your Honor, may I approach the witness? I'm going to scoot this microphone up for her. You may. Thank you. It's a bit soft spoken. Are you nervous?
A little bit.
Okay. All right. Now, you said that you saw him in the club with some friends. He had left, and then you exited the club and left too. You guys just saw each other outside. Is that right?
Yes.
And you thought he was good looking, right?
Yeah.
And so you started talking.
Yes.
And what was he like?
He seemed nice.
Okay. It's pretty charming?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you guys kind of start dating after that?
Yes.
And how long did you guys date?
Not so long. I'm not sure.
A couple months maybe?
Couple months.
Okay. During those few months, how did he treat you?
Good.
Okay. Was he nice to you?
Nice, yes.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, this is the prosecution trying to get Mr. Chucky painted in a good light. Here's a woman he dated who will say, "Oh, nice guy." Yeah, but he still has a conviction of domestic violence, so I don't care. And just this he has still not been on the stand. Why are they bringing on people to bolster him? It's weak, it's infuriating.
Did you guys ever have, major conflicts or anything?
Not that I remember.
Was he ever aggressive with you?
No,
Violent?
no,
Anything like that?
no,
Did you have any concerns about being around him at all?
no.
In fact, like if you did have any kind of argument, if you will, it'd be more about you just asking information maybe about where he is. And
Yes.
okay. Now,
Leading
in your relationship with him, did
out.
he ever tell you, look, you're my only girl, you're the one, or did he just make you feel that way?
He made me feel that way.
Okay.
Why is she allowed on this
app? As far as
app?
conversations go, there was never a time where you all said, hey, we are 100% committed to each other?
No.
Okay. Did you know when you were dating him that he was talking to other girls?
No.
Okay. Did he ever take you to his house in Mesquite?
Yes.
How many times?
Like that I remember, probably 2 times.
2 times?
Yes.
Okay. Did you guys hang out in the outside, the common areas of the house, or where did you go?
No.
Yeah, Slider Pie over the Rumble. I think we have a dim bulb on the stand. I don't disagree. Seems like an easy catch. They dated for a few months. He didn't beat her up. So freaking what? Why is this allowed in court? Why? You started this morning with actual evidence, and then you got back to, is he a nice guy? I don't fucking care.
No, he never took me around the house. I was just in his room.
Okay. Did he?
You were
Did you know
a
who he lived
mattress.
with?
No.
Did he mention? Did you ever see anybody that he lived with?
No.
As far as that house in Kensington, did he tell you that I guess I'm asking, did he tell you that he lived with some people or a person?
He said he lived with some people.
Okay, and did he tell you kind of what his relationship with them was?
No, not
So
really.
you didn't have any idea?
No.
Leading.
Now,
Yep,
I
I'm on
want to
Twitter.
talk about October 4th and October 5th during that time period, okay? Were you aware that he went to Arkansas for a rap show?
Yes.
Okay, and he told you about that?
Yes.
And you were you able to go with him?
No, because he never invited me to go.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, October 4th is when he returned, right?
I think so.
Had you spoken with him or texted him about y'all meeting up later?
Yes.
Okay, and did you meet up with him?
Is it a Sunday or?
Yeah, this was a Sunday.
I was at work.
Okay, you were at work Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
What time would you get off at work?
2 in the morning.
2 in the morning. That's when you work at Rick's. It's
Yes.
like a Rick's
Door girl.
Cabaret.
I'm sorry, one at a time.
Is that when you work at Rick's Cabaret as like a waitress?
Door.
You worked at the door? Okay. And I saw you look at the calendar. That's just a calendar to kind of help you remember what day of the week it was. Okay. So on Sunday, you would be working the door at Rick's Cabaret, and you would get off around 2 a.m., right?
Yes.
Did you have plans to meet up with Chuck later that evening?
Yes.
Did you try to contact him?
Yes.
And how many times did you try to contact him?
A lot.
Okay, so you blew him up, right?
Yes.
You blew up his phone. And he never called you back, right?
No.
How'd that make you feel?
It made me feel like he was with somebody else, because he never answered.
And the next day, did you finally get in touch with him?
He hit me up.
Okay, and hit you up. He texted you, called you, or do you recall?
He texted me.
Let you know that he fell asleep, right?
Yes.
Did you all hang out later that day?
Yes.
Okay, and where did you guys hang out?
I don't remember.
Okay. And do you recall about what time of day you all hung out?
Probably like in the afternoon.
What the?
And did you guys end up spending the night together that night?
Don't remember if that night. I don't remember.
So prior to this, you had only been to the house once or twice. He didn't take you over there frequently, right?
No.
Would there be times that you all might spend the night together?
What do you mean?
Like stay overnight?
I'm starting to realize how he got women that easily. If you ask enough girls or tell them they are pretty, 1 in 100 will believe you. Because, oh, Jesus Christ. A failed rapper in his early 30s. Yeah, Jesus Christ. And they are actually trying. She's there to, is he a nice guy? Did he treat you well? How the frick should she know? She dated him. She saw him, I would bet, maximum 10 times over a 3-month period.
At the house?
Not at the house, just anywhere.
Oh, yes.
Okay, and where might you stay?
So after that, he never took me back to the house. Like, he would always want to rent hotels.
You recall if that first
He
night
rented
after he
hotels.
kind of ghosted you, did y'all stay in a hotel that night?
Yes.
So after that, you never went back to that house and escaped with him?
Yeah, no.
Did you ever meet Lisa Dykes or Nina Morano?
No.
Did Chuck ever tell you about it?
I knew them as his lawyers because that's how he would always tell me that Lisa and Nina were his lawyers.
At some point, did you and Chuck decide to go out of town?
Yes, that's when he had told me that if I wanted to go out for a vacation to New Orleans.
And do you remember when you went to New Orleans?
I don't remember. I know it was like around October, but I don't remember the day.
But it was after this situation where he kind of ghosted you that night.
Yes.
And did you all go to New Orleans?
Yes.
And what car did you all drive in?
He pulled up in an SUV, white SUV.
Had you seen him drive that car before?
No.
What car did you see him drive?
He used to drive an Audi, black Audi.
And did you, you all drove to New Orleans. Did you rent an Airbnb for you all to stay in?
Yes.
About how long were you going to stay there?
I think he had booked it for probably a week or so.
Did y'all end up staying in that Airbnb?
No. When we got there, we had barely just got there, and it was only one night that we stayed there.
Okay, and why'd y'all leave?
He received a call.
Yeah, and did you hear the call?
No.
You just heard his side of the call?
Yeah, when he received the call, he got away from me.
Okay. But based on that call, how did he act?
He looked worried.
All right. Thank you so much for the next donation from Brandon. I will make sure that it will be sent to Gigi immediately. Let's see here so I don't... Dun, dun, dun. Okay, let's keep listening while I fix the transfer.
And at that point, what did you all decide to do?
So that's when he told me that his uncle, that's how he would call him, unks, said that called them and said that the detectives were at his house trying to speak to Chuck.
After that, what happened?
So that's when I asked him what's going on, and he didn't tell me anything. He just said, I need you to go back to Dallas.
Did he tell you about meeting a girl that night that y'all were supposed to meet up?
No, not there, no.
And so he told you need to go back to Dallas. Is that correct?
Yes.
And did you go back to Dallas?
Yes.
How'd you get there?
I went back on the car, the SUV.
Did you drive?
Yes.
Okay, on your own?
Yes.
And where did Chuck go?
He stayed there.
He stayed in the New Orleans area?
Yes.
Okay, did you drop him off at like a friend's place?
No. No, he stayed there.
Okay, you just stayed at the Airbnb?
Yes.
And where did you take that SUV?
He told me to drop it off at the house.
And after you dropped it off at the house, what happened next?
I just left it there.
How did you get to your car?
My sister picked me up.
And did she take you back to wherever your vehicle was located?
Yes.
And what did you do after that?
And then after that, I went back
to
where he was at.
In New Orleans area?
Yes.
Okay, where did you pick him up?
There in the New Orleans.
When you picked him up, did y'all stay in New Orleans for any amount of time?
No. So when I went back, that's when I asked him, I'm like, I want to know what's going on.
Okay. And what did he tell you?
He didn't tell me nothing yet. Like, not then, right there, he hadn't told me anything.
Okay. And so you pick him up in New Orleans, doesn't tell you anything. I mean, something's going on, right?
Yes.
During that time, did you have any contact with Lisa or Nina?
No, not that I remember, no.
Okay. What did you do after you picked him up? Where did you all go?
So that's when he was driving. He was driving my car, and I remember the trip was silent. Like, he wasn't saying nothing. Like, it was just like us muted. And that's when I asked him again. I'm like, hey, what's going on? He kind of got mad. Like, he raised his voice at me. He had never done that.
Okay.
He said, stop questioning me.
Okay. Now, when he raised his voice at you, were you afraid that he was going to do something violent to you?
At that moment, yes. Like, he had never talked to me like that.
Okay, that's the only time you never heard him use there.
Yes.
Or raise his voice.
Yes.
Did he do anything to you?
No.
Okay. Where did you all go?
I don't remember where I dropped, because I dropped them off somewhere.
Gigi?
I don't remember.
We all love you, and we wish the best for you. And if we can do something, a little something or a lot of something, I will try. I will try. You deserve it, baby.
Okay. So we had met before a couple of times, and do you recall telling me that you took him to a hotel in Pennsylvania?
Yes, I think that's where I dropped them off.
Okay, so you dropped him off in a hotel in Pennsylvania, is that right?
Yes.
And did he tell you that Nina and Lisa were going to pick him up there?
So when we got there, we got into kind of an argument because I was just like, hey, like, what's really going on? Like, you're telling me that the detectives want to talk to you. Like, I don't even know what's going on. I'm over here with you. Like, what's going on? And he just said, stop questioning me. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go. And he said, okay, that his lawyers were going to pick him up. His lawyers.
Okay. And during that conversation, you guys have an argument. You're confronting him about something that sounds strange.
Yeah.
Did he act like he was going to do any harm to you at all? Physically?
No.
Okay. It was just argument.
But he was just acting crazy. Like, he was, I don't know how to explain it.
Okay. He was acting crazy like.
Because I just kept questioning him, like, what's going on?
Okay. Was he paranoid?
Yes.
Okay. Concerned?
Yes.
And so you left him at the Pennsylvania hotel, and you said that he said the lawyers were going to pick him up. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then you drove back here
To Dallas,
to
yes.
Dallas. Now, did you have any communication with Chuck after that?
I don't remember after that, but he had probably weeks, or I don't even know, months. He had texted me from an unknown number that I gave one to the detectives.
Okay. So you got that text from the unknown number, and did he let you know where he was?
At that point, no.
Okay. At some point, did you learn that he was in Mexico?
I don't remember.
Now, you mentioned a minute ago that you got this unknown number. you were questioned, I guess, by detectives, about his whereabouts. Is that right?
Yes, when I got back from, where was it? You said Pennsylvania?
Oh,
And
objection. If she doesn't have an actual recollection, then whatever she's talking about Pennsylvania should be stricken, in my opinion. She just told the prosecution, did you say Pennsylvania? That means to me she has no recollection of it. And that goes to all the leading questions from the prosecution. This is bad.
they came up here to work, right?
Yes, when I came back to Dallas.
And that was a little, I guess, scary for you.
Yeah.
Did they tell you anything about why they were looking for Mr. Beltran?
I don't remember what they told me at first.
But you cooperated, gave them any information you had?
Yes, I told them, yes.
Right, you're on pass witness. Cross-examination.
Thank you. Ms. Alvarez, thank you. My name is Keith Harrison. I represent Ms. Dykes. You've never met Ms. Dykes, correct?
No.
Even though you've been to her home, you've never met her, right?
No.
Do you actually remember, his name is Charles Beltran. I'm calling him Chuck. You know him as Chuck.
Yes.
You know him as Chuck 50/50 or just Chuck?
I knew that he was Chuck 50/50 when I started following him on Instagram.
Okay. What do you think Chuck 50/50 means?
I don't even know.
Okay. So you didn't follow him on Instagram that much, right?
No, wait, what was that? Oh.
I'll withdraw the question. I guess what I'm trying to get at is you didn't know him that long, right?
No, I
A few
didn't know.
months?
A few months.
All right. But in the time that you did know him, at some point he took you over to Mesquite. You knew that it was in Mesquite, right? The house?
Yes.
Just if you remember. Do you remember?
Yes.
All right. He took you to this house in Mesquite. You remember did y'all go in through the front door or y'all go in through the garage? Just if you remember. Do you remember?
I think it was the garage.
You go straight to his room, right?
Yes.
When you go there, you don't know if anybody's at that house or not, do you?
I don't.
Thank you for your super chat, XCOMEZ, for Norwegian 50 krona. Silly question maybe, but did the lady who's accused blame this Chad rapper, or is she taking the fall? She hasn't testified yet, and I haven't gone into what was happening pre-trial. All I know is that she is on trial and he is snitching on her. And I don't know if Nina, the third party of this interesting combination, will testify or not. But I do know that Chuck will testify and Lisa, Miss Dykes, will testify. Those I'm sure of. Thank you again for your super chat. Much welcome.
They could have been, right?
Yes.
You're in his room, right?
Yes.
Did he show you the studio?
No.
Did he show you the studio?
I never seen no studio.
Okay, just his bedroom?
Yes.
All right, so y'all in his bedroom. How long were you at his house?
I would go there, but just spend the night, basically at night.
So you literally spend the night at this house and you wouldn't know if there were other people in the house?
No.
Right?
Yeah. Right.
In his room.
In his room, it was just me and him.
And whether there were other people in the house, you had no idea?
No.
Could have been.
I guess.
Is that a yes or no?
No.
I'm saying, when you were there in his room with him, could there have been other?
Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh.
People in the house?
I don't know. Like, if maybe there could have been people in the house. Maybe. Yeah.
Because y'all just stayed in his room, right?
Yes.
Just you and him?
Yes.
Did you use his bathroom?
Yeah.
Even going to his bathroom, you didn't know whether there were other people in the house, right?
Right.
When you left the house, still didn't know whether there were other people in the house.
There was nobody when I would leave. I would leave like the next day in the morning.
Back through the garage.
No, through the front door.
Okay. And during that time period, when he was messing with you, he was driving the black Audi?
Yes.
Now, I want to talk to you about this night that you were you working at the Ecstasy Club?
It was Rick's.
Or you were going to meet him at the Ecstasy Club?
Oh, meet him.
You were supposed to meet him at the Ecstasy Club?
Yes.
It's XTC, right?
Yes.
Ecstasy, right?
Yes.
It's a strip club, right?
Yes.
And that's where you were supposed to meet him that night.
Yes.
But he didn't show up, right?
No.
Okay.
What?
So you started calling him.
Yes.
Okay.
And you worked at Rick's Cabaret.
Hey,
Yes.
babe, let's meet up at the strip
Yes.
joint.
So you start calling him, he never answers.
Yes.
He calls you the next morning, about 7 in the morning,
Yes.
right?
I don't remember if 7 in the morning, but it was the next
He
day.
calls you the next morning.
Yes.
When he calls you that next morning, I mean, is he excited? Does he sound nervous and paranoid?
No.
You remember when you said he got this phone call from his uncle, right?
Yeah, but that was like,
Later,
Yeah.
way later. But when he got that phone call from his uncle about the police looking for him, he got real nervous, didn't
yes.
he? He got real scared, didn't he?
Yes.
You could see the difference in him, couldn't you?
Yes.
But on the night you called him that morning, he was normal, wasn't
Yes.
he? I think you, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you said that y'all met that afternoon, right?
Yes.
From what you remember.
Yes.
All right, and then whether or not y'all spent the night that night or the following night, sometime after that, y'all started going to hotels, right?
Yes.
And never went back to the house in Mesquite.
No.
At some point, when you're taking him, when y'all go to New Orleans, and y'all supposed to stay at the Airbnb for a week, you said?
Yes.
But he gets a phone call, and that's when you end up coming back?
That's when he canceled everything. Like, to just go back.
All right. When he gets his phone call and you start questioning him, you said he got angry.
And thank you so much for this latest donation. Thank you so much. And I will make sure it will be sent over to Gigi immediately. Thank you so much.
Yes.
So you stopped questioning.
Yes.
You never seen him like that.
No.
You were afraid, weren't you?
A little bit, because I really didn't know him.
Yeah, he's raising his voice at you, telling him to stop questioning him. You were afraid. You're with this man that you really don't know, right?
Yes.
Something's going on and he won't tell you, right?
Yes.
He's telling you stop questioning him about this stuff.
Yes.
Do you stop questioning?
I did.
Because you were afraid, weren't you? To keep questioning.
Yeah.
Now, at some point, you said y'all start driving, and do you even know where you dropped them off at? I know they kind of told you that you said Pennsylvania. Do you even remember that?
I don't even remember. I mean, I didn't really remember where I was at. I don't know the place.
Everybody's refreshing your memory, right?
Yes.
They're telling you dropped them off in Pennsylvania, right?
Yes.
You don't really recall being in Pennsylvania, do you?
I don't remember if it was there, but
What city in Pennsylvania were y'all in?
I don't know.
I'm not gonna put words in your mouth. You tell me.
I don't know the city.
Do you even know if you were in Pennsylvania? Did you understand my question?
I don't remember, no.
So is that a no? I don't know if I was in Pennsylvania.
I don't know where I dropped them off. I don't know.
You just know you dropped him off and he was supposed to meet someone that was supposed to be his lawyer.
Yes.
You do remember that.
Yes.
And you do remember that on this trip, it was silent, wasn't it?
Yes.
Long trip, wasn't it?
Yes.
Do you remember about how many hours y'all were in that car together?
I don't remember. It was hours.
Several hours of silence with a man you barely know, right?
Yes.
Traveling across the country, right?
Yes. Yes.
When you're traveling across the country with this man you barely know, did you feel like you had to go at that point?
At some point, I started questioning myself, like,
Why am I doing this?
yes.
What am I doing?
Yes.
Why am I putting myself in danger with a man I barely know?
Yes.
Because again, you're traveling hours and hours, state to state, with a man who's already gotten angry with you before y'all left, right? Because he got in with you in New Orleans, right?
Yes.
For questioning him
Yes.
about what's going on.
Yes.
And you still felt necessary to go with him, right?
Yes.
At some point, y'all get to wherever y'all ended up, and you start questioning him again, didn't you?
Yes.
Because now you know the police got something to do with this, right?
Yes.
And you're asking yourself, what is this guy getting me involved in, right?
Yes.
Well, why don't you just leave?
Because at first, I really thought because he was selling drugs that I knew of. So I thought maybe they're looking for him because of drugs.
But isn't it true you didn't leave because you couldn't leave, right?
So he sells drugs. Sweet
He
guy.
needs you.
Right.
You couldn't leave, right? That's why you didn't leave.
He was,
Until he let you leave, right?
Your Honor,
Yes.
I would ask counsel just ask one question at a time.
Right, you can give the witness time to.
Yes, ma'am. My question to you is, you couldn't leave because he wouldn't let you leave.
right.
And at some point, wherever y'all were, when y'all got to wherever y'all ended up, you start questioning again because you knew the police were involved.
Yes.
And you didn't want to get in trouble, did you?
Right.
And he told you stop questioning him.
Right.
And he's not talking as nice as I'm talking to you now.
No.
I have no idea why the prosecution called
Yes.
this
And you're
witness,
shocked because you've never seen.
other than the defense would have called her. But again, this points to Chucky, not Lisa Dykes.
You know, Chuck talking to you in a manner like that, right?
Right.
Didn't seem like the same person, did it?
No.
And you were afraid.
Yes.
So you stopped questioning, didn't you?
Yes.
And when he let you leave, you left.
Right.
But that's only when he let you leave. Right?
Right when he would tell me to leave.
I will not spoil the ending, but there's something seriously wrong
When
in
you
the
say he was
U.S.
acting
justice
crazy,
system.
did you know what he would do if you kept questioning him?
At that moment, like I said, I didn't really know him or his bad side. So,
You stopped questioning.
Right.
Because you didn't want to get hurt, did you?
I could say that.
And you said you knew he was a drug dealer, right?
Right.
Did you know what type of other people he hung around?
The only people that I knew was Freddie and Unks.
Uncle Dax?
Yes.
But did you know he had been in prison?
No, he never told me.
This trial concluded last week. This is one of the trials that I would have covered completely live if the Young Thug trial hadn't happened. But then the Young Thug trial happened, and then a defendant got stabbed, and they were on break. And by then, they had already started this trial, so I picked it up. So yeah, but this was on a local channel, so it has not been broadcasted that much out of the interwebs and YouTubes. So I do believe not that many people have ever heard of this case. And it's a strange case, and it's a stranger trial.
But he never told you anything about. Now you've seen the stories about Marisela, right? The missing girl.
Yes.
He never told you anything about her that when he was with you, did he?
No.
Never told you anything about Miss Dykes hurting Marisela, did he?
No.
In fact, on the morning you called him, he was calm, cool, and collected, wasn't he?
Just to him, how he was, the normal him.
And as far as the lawyers, he wasn't afraid of his lawyers, was he?
No.
And on that day You were supposed to meet him on October the 4th. How do you know it was October the 4th? Is that something else they just told you?
No, because I was working Sunday. So I remember that when I was working on the Sunday, I was getting up at 2 in the morning and I was supposed to meet up with him.
And you would have met up with him the following day during the afternoon, right?
That's when I met up with him later on.
But where he went or what he did before he met back up with you, you have no idea. Do you?
No.
Did you know anything about Carter?
Who's that?
Another one of his girlfriends.
No.
So you never went to that apartment?
I would drop him off at some apartments.
What were those apartments?
I don't remember. I don't remember.
Yeah. And ma'am, just so we're clear, even now, you're a little afraid about being associated with all this, aren't you?
Yes.
All the people that are involved in this thing, right?
Yes.
Hi, Christine.
Your fear is real, right?
Yes.
What people could potentially do to you for hanging out with Chuck, right?
Right.
But that's a fine in this case, right?
Yes.
Whether that's his friends or Marisela's friends, you have concern for their safety, don't you?
Right.
Oh, absolutely, sir. Thank you, Ms. Allen.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
May this witness be found excused?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, thank you for being here. May you are free to leave and go about your business. Please watch your step.
Yeah, this was an interesting witness who more or less said, "Oh, she did what Chucky told her to do." She was first she was a hang-around, and then he asked her favors, and then she was too afraid to not do it until he let her go. How does this point to the defendant? Okay, next witness.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you, may see. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ma'am, can you state your name and spell your name for the court reporter, please?
It's Jamie Scarpa, Jamie. Scarpa is Scarpa.
Okay, and can you tell the jury just, I guess, generally where you're from and what it is you do for a living?
I'm from East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. I am a realtor there. I'm also a bank teller there.
And Ms. Scarpa, have you, how many times have you met Lisa Dykes?
Maybe 5.
Okay. And your relationship or your, I guess, connection to this case is more through Nina Morano, is that correct?
Yes.
And how did you know Nina Morano?
She moved in next to my house.
Okay, that in East Stroudsburg.
Correct.
And do you recall about what year she moved in?
They moved in early 2018, her and her husband,
Okay, and her husband's name is
William.
William?
Yes.
And he went by Bill, correct?
Yes.
Okay, Bill Morano.
Correct.
And how was Nina in the neighborhood?
When she first moved in, she was real quiet, but as we grew to know her, she was a social butterfly. She talked to everybody. She was always outside, very kind, great with my children.
Did you have some time to, spend with her and Bill as a couple?
As neighbors, yes.
As neighbors,
Yeah.
let me clarify that. So you, would have dinners together as, neighbors and do events and things like that.
Yes, we've been to their house. They did fires with us, that sort of stuff.
When was it that you recall maybe noticing a change in Bill and Nina's relationship?
I would say in the fall of 19. And we only noticed it because Bill would sleep in the car in the road behind her house. So we found it odd. So we would ask him, like, are you okay?
Totally not a Russian, but weren't the drugs ruled out as in not found in what was left? Yes and no, because they did. I'm not sure they even how much they tested for other than the usual ones, but I do know that the defense is asking questions about drug use, and that her family, the victim's family, said she was not into drugs. apart from alcohol and weed. So we'll just have to wait and see, I guess.
Hey, what's going on? And you'd be like, oh, we're arguing. I think she's cheating on me. I thought they were just going through a rough patch, though. I didn't think they were going to break up. No.
else. Did you ever talk to Nina about it?
No.
Okay. And you said that was in the fall of 2019, is that correct?
Yes.
And had you seen Lisa Dykes in Pennsylvania prior to that?
No.
Now Bill passed away, is that correct?
He did.
When did he pass away?
He passed away November of 19.
Now, when did you actually learn of his passing?
She told us March of 20.
Okay, and when you're saying she, who told you?
Nina.
So you all are neighbors for a few years, you spend time together. Did you find it odd that she didn't tell you of his passing when it happened?
Absolutely.
Okay, is this somebody you would have gone to his services?
Absolutely.
But you didn't really know what all was going on between them at that time?
Correct.
Okay, so you learned this in, what'd you say, March of 2020?
Yes.
Now, at what point after that did you first see Lisa in Pennsylvania? If you recall.
I would say the end of the summer or beginning of fall in 2020.
Okay, and
So-
did you have a conversation with Lisa at that time?
Not really.
Um,
I met her for the first time walking a dog.
Okay. And you saw her, noticed her, said
Yeah.
hi.
Yep.
Now, did Nina start doing more, after Bill's passing, did Nina start doing more travel?
Yes.
And as a neighbor, did you kind of help her out with, various things, getting the mail, things like that?
Yes. She'd have me watch her cats, get the mail, check her oil levels, that kind of stuff.
Okay, check her oil levels if you don't live up.
Like heating oil.
Let's just make sure because
Yes.
the winters get bad. Right?
Yes, they do.
Okay. Around, I guess, October, well, let me back up just a little bit. You all were neighbors. After Bill's passing and you learned his passing, had Nina indicated that she was planning on moving anytime soon?
She did not.
And why did she move to that neighborhood? You know?
She was trying to rekindle a relationship with her father, who lives in the house behind us.
So I want to kind of fast forward to, you said that she started traveling.
Hey, Raphael.
Quite a
Good
bit.
to see you.
In early October, in fact, October 2nd, did you get a text from Nina that just indicated she wasn't home?
Yes,
She was traveling somewhere.
correct.
Did you know where she was?
I did not. She was telling us that she was opening law firms in New York and Florida with a friend. So that's where we assumed she was.
Okay. Did she ever mention traveling to Texas?
No.
Now, at the first part of October, I guess the second week of October, did you get a phone call from Nina? Well, let me back up just a little bit, Scarpa. At some point, you provided, I guess, a timeline just to kind of help you remember everything that kind of happened from September of 2020 on. Is that correct?
Kind of. The timeline was to prove whether she was in Pennsylvania or not for the detective when they asked.
Okay. And you provided that to Detective Ramirez?
Correct.
Would that timeline kind of help you refresh your recollection?
Probably.
Your Honor, may I approach?
You may.
So this is just.
Scarpa, is
okay.
that the timeline that you
She lived there.
provided?
Then she
Detective
moved.
Ramirez?
It is.
Okay. And if you
Okay.
want to just kind of read over the front part of that, just refresh your recollection, and you can refer back to that if you would like. You received a phone call from Nina at some point in October, is that correct?
I did.
And when in October did you receive that phone call?
I mean, there's a few on here. Which one are you referring to?
I'm sorry, the one about selling your house.
The selling your house one was closer to November.
Okay. And what she need? What did she want?
She just said that it had to be listed right away. It kind of seemed urgent. I told her that I would need keys and we'd have to take pictures. Like I couldn't just do it today, like she was wanting. I'd had to wait for her to come back.
So that was closer to November, is that correct?
Yes, it was.
Okay. And I'm going to give you just a moment just to read through that timeline. We talked about this yesterday, is that correct?
Yes, we did.
And this is your timeline that you provided Detective Ramirez?
Correct.
Cute woman. What's going on? Why is she important to this? Except that Nina, who is not the defendant, lived there. Her husband passed away. She started to hang out with Lisa. And then sometime close to November, She got a call
Um,
about selling her
Are you
house.
nervous?
Yes,
Incredibly nervous?
yes.
Okay. Have you ever had to testify before in a criminal court proceeding? Now, looking back and refreshing recollections, do you remember about what week it was that you received a phone call from Nina about listing the house?
It says the week of October 12th in here.
Does that sound right?
That seems right, yes.
Okay. And you said she seemed urgent.
She did.
Okay. On that day, do you know if she was in Pennsylvania or if she was somewhere else?
She was out of town because I told her I would need keys in order to list the house.
Okay. And she wasn't there to provide those at that time.
Correct.
And did she say why it was urgent or anything like that?
No.
Okay. What was the next recollection that you have as far as conversation with Nina concerning the house?
Not until she returned home. She returned home maybe the second week of November, and we listed the house then.
Okay, second week of November, you listed the house?
Yes.
Okay, I want to talk more about that in just a minute. Did you receive any communication with her, I believe November 1st or 2nd?
Yes, the first she called and said she needed me to do a favor, that she was having a car delivered. And then the second she had texted me, the car will be arriving shortly. When it comes, put a car cover on it. She had a car cover on the passenger seat of the car.
And what car was it?
It was a black Audi with tinted windows.
Oh,
Okay.
now
Had you ever
this
seen
is
her drive a
interesting.
black Audi before?
No.
Do you recall what car she generally drove? If you remember.
I do not. She drove not nice cars.
I'm sorry.
She drove not nice cars for
Not nice cars.
a while, yeah, until Bill died.
Until Bill passed.
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, that good idea. Hey, let's have you all know everything that goes into PayPal during this stream will go to Gigi. So let's say for every $50 to Gigi, and I will take a shot. All right. Hey, and PayPal is pinned on the top of the chat. From now, starting now, not what has already been donated. Starting now, have to be very, very, very. And if you wouldn't mind, if you think that gifting memberships is good, I will take that as well.
What did you guys do with that car?
Parked it, put a car cover on it, and left it.
Okay, and in fact, I mean, the car cover kept blowing off, kept going over there, putting it on.
It did. We put it on 2 or 3 times that week.
And these are all neighborly things that you would do for any of your neighbors.
Yes.
Now, so it's clear that she was not in town or not in Pennsylvania November 1st or 2nd.
All
Correct.
right, here we go. Thank you so much, Brandon. We can grease your wheels a bit for looking like Santa and being kind. And yes, this is your Christmas super chat. I don't work at Hallmark. Cheers, cheers, cheers. Okay. An ex-commerce gifted 20 memberships. Is that $50? It's $3. Yeah, it is. Oh. All right, here we go. Remember, oh Jesus Christ, this can be interesting. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for gifting the memberships. Let's see who was gifted them. Umbron Stasi, Melissa Simmock, Value 87, Rachel Hope, Kyle Robertson, Jess Rubery, Wanda Stevens, Michael Mark, Megan, Nanya Bittners, Susan Lay, Bobby Bologna, Rampu, Opposite of Amnesia, Carl O'Reilly, April M, T. Clark, Erica Olsen, Lil Dog Chaz, and John Gordon. There will be a link to my Discord in the memberships area. So that's a members perk, and you now have access to The absolute most members-only content on LawTube. Hey! Was it yesterday people were grifting money wildly and you were just sitting there happily drinking beer? That was earlier today on Aussie Overload stream. I mean, I'm having this week off before Christmas, and so I'm having a beer or more while I'm watching trials with you. Yay!
And what is the next event on the timeline?
Oh, come on. What's going on here? All right, I'm trying to change from now it's severe weather, so it might have something to do with that. Can't you see this? There it is. Okay, changing from router to mobile internet. Dun dun dun. Oh, come on.
That we discussed.
When she came home,
And when did she come home?
November 11th.
November 11th. And that is when she listed the house. Is that correct?
Correct.
Now, was she alone or was she with somebody?
She was not when I went to the house, and Lisa was there.
Okay. Lisa was there. Is that the first time you officially met Lisa?
Yes, we are all safe. Everything is tied down outside. Last night I went down to the shoreline. Well, not the shoreline, but we are currently having a 5 feet surge. So I was helping last night in sandbagging the more important buildings in town. So yeah, it was kind of wild. But right now is more or less the highest point, and then it will go back during the night. So hopefully everything will still be will be there by the coast, and all the wealthy people who lives at the shoreline because they think, hey, let's build a house as close as possible to the shoreline, were asking us for help. But no, that's your own damn fault. We can take care of the official building and the community buildings and stuff like that. You who decide to build your house 4 feet from the shoreline, get your own damn sandbags. Yeah, 1.5 meters. Yeah, it was interesting. And because over Britain and Scandinavia, there's cyclone-shaped storm, and all of it is pushing water towards Denmark and Sweden. So yeah, it's been interesting.
Yes.
And describe, you've been in that house several times before, you dinners and things like that. Was the house in the same condition it was before? Or did it look the same decor-wise?
No. So
Okay,
normally,
tell the jury what the difference was, or what the house looked like when you went in November 11th.
so normally her house is bright and airy and open. All the windows and doors were covered with like black sheets. It was pitch black in the house when I walked in.
And Lisa was there, is that correct?
Correct.
And what was your purpose of being here?
Bring over the listing contract.
And did you start a discussion with Nina about the listing contract?
Yes, we went to the dining room table. We sat down. They put a tape recorder in the middle of the table, like a phone on record. I'm not sure why.
Okay, and you said they, who put the phone down, if you remember?
I don't remember.
Okay. Was this typical behavior for Nina?
No.
Was she outgoing and friendly as like she used to be, or how was she acting?
I mean, she was friendly. Yeah.
Okay.
She was okay.
When you talked about the housing contract or the listing contract, who was the primary person between Nina and Lisa that was doing the talking?
Nina talked about a price. She said a set price that she wanted for the property.
Okay.
The rest of the questions I were going over was mostly Lisa.
And Nina made it clear that she wanted $310,000. Is that correct?
Yeah, not a penny less. That house was her baby. Like, she didn't want to get rid of it.
Okay. And all the rest of the questions were Lisa.
Yes.
Had you ever had anybody report a conversation like that before about a listing contract?
No.
Did you find that to be somewhat odd?
Awkward.
Awkward?
Yes.
Okay, was the meeting awkward?
Other than being recorded, no.
And at some point, you were having them, it's time for them to sign the listing documents. Is that correct?
Yes.
What happened after that?
We toured the house, and there was a closet that's next to the foyer. In the side, that large closet, it was like a life-size, I guess you call it a statue of a skeleton, and it was wearing like a robe.
We are
and it was
now
holding something like this, with, like, a
$5
mat on the floor
closer
in
to
front
the
of it.
next shot.
She made it like pretty
So,
clear buyers are
another
not to go in there.
$45,
Don't
either
open
via
that door.
PayPal, Super Chat, or
And what
gifted
did they do
memberships.
in front of
Yes,
that?
yes.
Kneeled.
After they kneeled, were you standing there while they kneeled right with them, or where were you?
I was not in the closet.
Okay. What did you think about that?
I was ready to go. Yeah.
Were you terrified?
Scary.
Did you ever know Nina to be into that sort of thing?
Yes. She originally lost connection with her father due to religion, but I didn't know what the religion was.
Okay, so you're just kind of surmising that maybe it was this.
Yes.
Okay, but you've never seen anything like this before?
No.
And you didn't know?
I'm going to back.
Inside that large closet, it was like a life-size, I guess you call it a statue of a skeleton, and it was wearing like a robe, and it was holding something like this, with like a mat on the floor in front of it. She made it like pretty clear buyers are not to go in there. Don't open that door.
Okay.
And what did they do in front of that?
Kneeled.
After they kneeled, were you standing there while they kneeled right with them, or where were you?
I was not in the closet.
Okay. What did you think about that?
I was ready to go. Yeah.
Were you terrified?
Scary.
Did you ever know Nina
Okay,
to
that's weird.
be into that sort of thing?
Yes. She originally lost connection with her father due to religion, but I didn't know what the religion was.
Okay, so you're just kind of surmising that maybe it was this.
Yes.
Okay, but you've never seen anything like this before?
No.
And you didn't know her ability to have these types of statues in their house before?
No.
When they finished kneeling, what did they do after that? Did they sign the contract?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It's fine.
And you listed the house?
Yep. Took pictures a couple days later and listed the house.
Initially, did you all get an offer on the house?
Yeah, we got a lower offer a couple weeks later. I think it was $285, if I remember correctly.
Okay. And did you talk to Nina about that offer?
Yes, she originally said no. She wasn't going to take it. I got off the phone. I called the buyer's agent. I'm like, we're not accepting your offer.
Okay. And did you get subsequent communication?
Yes, same day, Nina called back, and after speaking with Lisa, we would like to take it. We just want to get rid of it.
Did you know where Nina was at that time?
I did not.
She was not in Pennsylvania.
Not that I recall.
Okay. And you didn't see Lisa in Pennsylvania?
Hi, Mrs. Smith. Smith.
On December 8th, did you have some communication with Nina?
She came over with paperwork that I gave her to sign. She handed it in to me and just said that they were leaving town.
And so you had the signed paperwork, documents, things like that, and she advised that she's going out of town again. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. At some point, in December, did you receive a photograph from a buyer's agent about some concerning things in the home?
Yes, we did. A buyer's agent had said that a buyer was concerned about something that they seen, and they sent me a photo. It was like a smaller, what I would call Grim Reaper statue, and it was on like a small side table with candles and like little cups of alcohol or money in the cups. The buyer wanted like an explanation if they were going to buy this house. That was scary to them. I didn't know what to say.
So, and you kind of let the buyer's agent know, look, that's her religious beliefs. I can't really talk to her about it or
Right.
anything else like that.
Yeah, I never brought it up with Nina either.
Okay. And at some point, you did your own personal research on what that statue was. Is
I
that
did,
right?
yes.
And what did that statue in your research represent?
The Santa Marta statue was Angel of Death that they had up.
That particular person, did they make an offer on that house? Or
They did not, no.
Okay. At that time, was Nina in Pennsylvania next door, or was she elsewhere?
She was elsewhere at that time.
Okay, did you know where she was?
No.
On December 16th, did you get a phone call from her that she was going to be out of town?
Yeah, that was for the holidays. That one they did say they were going to Texas to see Lisa's family for the holidays.
And again, asked you to watch the house, bring in the mail, check the oil levels.
Correct.
All those things. At some point, did the mail that you were bringing in, did I guess the address or the name on the address change?
It did.
And what did it change to?
It was Nina Beltran.
Okay. For you who don't know, this is Santa Muerte. Yep. That's bizarre. Oh. Sorry. Boomer moment. There she is. Back a bit.
It did.
And
Hi,
what did
Dave.
it change to?
It
At
was
Mr.
Nina Beltran
Sterling.
was what we were starting to get mail.
And did you text Nina concerning that about getting a package?
Yeah, I just said your package came because she was looking for it. I put it on the counter and I took a picture and sent it to her.
Had you heard any talk from Nina about changing her name to Beltran or anything like that?
No.
Was it just a little surprising to you that this name changed?
Yeah. Odd.
Did you ever meet Charles Beltran?
No.
Okay, never saw him in the house?
No.
December 7th,
Oh, for fuck's sake. This shouldn't be so... Hold on while I do this, and that. Oh. And another $5 donated, which brings us 40 left for the next shot. That's another $5 via PayPal. Thank you so much. But isn't that not uncommon in some South American countries? Nina is from down there, right? Still not sure how this is relevant at all, except being weird. I agree. I mean, you can have a lot of weird stuff in your house and your apartment, and it's nobody's business. But if you put out your house for sale, maybe remove those things. Seriously?
did you get communication again from Nina about just checking the oil levels?
Yes.
Is she still out of town?
Yes.
Oh,
At some point, did you all get an offer on the house and get a contract on the house?
We did.
Okay, and was that first contract, the 285?
Yes.
Is that the contract that ultimately went through?
We did have others, but yes, that's the one that went through.
Do you recall what day it was that you saw them packing up and moving out of that home?
It was like early January.
And did you speak with Nina when they moved out?
I did not.
Did you ever, I guess on January 14th, is that the day that you saw the moving trucks?
Yes.
And did you receive a phone call from her that evening to just kind of say her final goodbyes?
Yes, I did. I was not home when she came to the door, and she was like, "Thank you for being such a great neighbor. You know, thank you for helping me through the transaction. You've been a good friend. I'll never see you again," is pretty much what she said.
Okay. Between January 15th and January 24th, you spoke with Nina frequently.
I told
to stop
you.
closing.
Yeah, daily.
Strange case, stranger trial.
Contracts had to be extended, things of that nature.
Yes.
Do you recall what day it was, and you can refresh your recollection, that you saw police cars over at Nina's house?
It was January 25th.
And did you call Nina and let her know?
I did. I said, there's police in your driveway. Do you want me to go over? I originally thought maybe somebody was trespassing or something. It was a vacant property. She said no.
And you didn't go over there, but the Dallas detectives come over to your
Yeah,
home.
within minutes, like when I was on the phone with her, they were coming to my door.
And you told me, I'm going to talk to the police and I'll call you back.
Yes.
Okay, did you call her back?
I did not, but I sent her a picture of Detective Ramirez's card.
Okay, did she let you know via text that she'll contact?
Yeah, it's a misunderstanding. I'll call them right now.
Did you talk to her any more about that day?
No.
Did you receive a phone call from her January 27th?
Yeah, a few days later, she seemed a little panicked. I just need to know what you told the police. What did you tell them? What did they ask you? I didn't know anything at that point, so I didn't tell them anything.
You had not heard anything about Marisela Botello, Charles Beltran?
No.
Police looking for them or anything of that nature?
The police told me that they were looking for a missing person. They did not give me a name.
And knowing Nina, did you find it
Hello,
very
Beth.
odd and strange that she might be involved in something?
Oh, absolutely. I didn't believe it.
But you didn't know Lisa at all?
No.
And you didn't know Charles Beltran at all?
No.
At some point, I believe you got a phone call from the buyer's agent that the mortgage denied and the sale was going to be extended again.
Extended again.
And how did Nina react to that?
Panicked. She was telling me that she was purchasing another home with this money. They needed it now.
At some point, the contract did go through, and every state of real estate transactions are a little bit different, but they had to execute a deed. Is that correct?
Correct.
Maybe, just maybe, if these women hadn't bought Chucky a car, threw money at him in every step of the way, maybe they would have had money to go somewhere and do something else. But no.
And I say they, Nina was the only person that was on the deed of the home. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it was Nina and Bill, but Bill had passed.
Okay, Nina and Bill, and so Nina had to execute a deed for you to, I guess, get the sale to go through. Is that correct?
Yes.
And what day did that deed go forward or go through?
We had a closed in March, but she had signed in February, and I had set up something for her to come in and sign, but she refused to attend. She wanted to use a notary of her choice.
Okay, and Scarpa, I'm handing you has been Mark's Estates Exhibit 302, 303, and 304. Do you recognize that photograph?
Yes.
And that is your words at the bottom, a text message to Nina. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then this is a picture of that you received from the buyer's agent in the home.
Yes, it is.
And this is the deed that we mentioned before. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, state offer states 302, 303, and 304 for all purposes. Entering the defense counsel.
All right, I apologize. I need to take a brief break and call my son's dentist to give them permission to go.
I'm not interested in why you need a break. Okay, break over. Yep. It's a bit rough to say in official court, I have the runs, I need to go.
All right, you may be seated.
Your Honor, I believe this.
What's going on? Why does this? Okay, changing back to router. I hope. Okay, it glitched a bit. I hope this will do something because I want to get through this day.
Aston was looking at.
Yes, to see if 302, 303, and 304 would be
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. 302, 303, and 304. Are needed for all purposes, and these were mortgage documents?
Oh, for fuck's sake. Sorry. And that's another one to the counter.
Mortgage documents and 2 photographs. Okay. The mortgage document is 3 pages. Thank you.
Which number is that?
That is 304.
3 pages. Thank you.
Permission to publish, Your Honor. Now, this states 303. This is the photograph that was sent to you from the buyer's agent. Is that correct?
Correct.
That's not the same one that you saw in the closet.
Oh, no.
Okay. The same one you saw was
The one in the closet is life size.
302. I'm going to turn it this way. This is just that package that has.
Okay, what package? What package? Prosecutor.
This has and for some reason the document is not refocusing, but it has the name addressed to now Nina Beltran. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, and that was dated, I think this text was December 31st, 2020.
Yes.
And then states 304. This is the document, the deed that you had sent her to execute. And you mentioned before that you had asked her to come to the office. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, that is a common practice, right?
Yes, buyer and seller.
Jesus Christ, what's going on? I have perfect internet. I'm just going to check here where I am. No, I don't have bad. I mean, this is what I have currently. I mean, it's not the best, but it should be able to stream. Seriously. What the fuck? What's going on here? I have 5 windows open.
Your Honor, I believe this.
There's nothing wrong. This is StreamYard YouTube. Who really, really can't. Okay. Going over to StreamYard. Oh, I meant Edge. Let's see here, 508. 508, okay. Enter studio. I'm switching over to all right, I'm switching over. I will see you all in a few seconds. And I'm back. There, share screen, add to stage. Sound, and here we go.
302, 303, and 304. Thank you. Which number is that?
That is 304.
3 pages with more. Thank you.
Permission to publish, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Now, this is case 303. This is the photograph that was sent to you from.
360?
Is that correct?
Correct.
That's not the same one that you saw in the closet.
Oh, no.
Okay, the same one you saw was
The one in the closet is life size.
302. I'm going to turn it this way. This is just that package that has name addressed to now Nina Beltran. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, and that was dated, I think this text was December 31st, 2020.
Yes.
And then states 304. This is the document, the deed that you had sent her to execute. And you mentioned before that you asked her to come off. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, that is a common practice, right?
Yes. Buyer and seller close together.
And this particular occasion, she wasn't there.
Correct.
Did she tell you where she was?
No.
Okay. At some point, she had to get it notarized. Is that right?
Yes.
And initially, she failed to fill out a portion of it. This top portion, is that correct?
Yes. The state and location.
And did you eventually have to send that back to her to have her fill that out?
The title company sent it back to the notary. Yes.
Okay, the notary filled that out, and that's the notary down there stated Florida.
Correct.
Okay, is that the first that you learned that she had gone back to the state of Florida?
Yes.
Okay. She had mentioned before that she was possibly opening some law firms in New York and Florida.
Correct.
At what point, so this is February 4th, the house still, the closing hasn't happened yet, is that correct?
Correct.
Did you have communication with her between February 4th and March 17th?
Yes. Almost every day.
Okay. And what was the conversation about?
Just the deal. What's going on? Because it's closing information.
And did she seem concerned about getting the closing done?
Yeah.
I mean, as anyone would.
I mean, it was extended a long time, so anyone would be mad.
Okay. And at some point, did the closing happen?
It did. Mid-March.
Mid-March?
Yes.
Okay, and the funds were dispersed.
Correct.
In that initial meeting with Lisa and Nina, did you field a question from Lisa, from Ms. Dykes, concerning the proceeds of the sale?
I don't know if Lisa asked, but yes, they were asking if it could be split.
And what was your response to that?
No.
Based on kind of that interaction between you all at the initial contract signing, did you have an opinion or did you have a determination about kind of who was in charge or who was kind of running that show?
Lisa. Yeah, Nina was quiet, reserved.
Your Honor, pass the witness.
Cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mrs. Scarpa, I'm Valerie Baston, and I'm one of Mrs. Dykes' lawyers, and I'm going to ask you some questions.
Okay.
All right. So you said that you met Nina when she was married to Bill back in 2018.
Correct.
Did you notice that there was like a significant age difference between the two?
Oh, yes.
What did you notice?
I didn't know how old she was, 40, 50, I assumed, but he was like 80.
Okay, so about a 35 to 40 year age difference.
Yes.
And did you know how long they had been married?
No,
So you didn't know anything about the background of how they met or anything like that?
I did not. She just said, I'm coming back to the neighborhood. This is where I grew up, and my father lives here.
Her father and her mother?
Yes, but I've never met her mother.
Okay. You said that Nina would play with your kids and she seemed like a very affable
Yes.
lady.
Yes, very nice woman, very good with my children.
Did you know anything about what was going on in her marriage besides seeing Bill sleeping in her home?
No.
His home? So you didn't know anything about any domestic violence issues or police reports that Nina had made about Bill
I did not.
being violent? Okay. It was just Bill's side of the story that he thought she was having an affair.
Correct.
And let me ask you, what was the housing market like in that part of Pennsylvania during this time? Was it a hot market?
It was not. It was fairly slow. We were selling in about 3 months.
Okay. So for it to take this long, it really wasn't a surprise to you being in the business that it would take long.
Correct.
And did you know that Nina had been doing repairs on that house?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And they were significant repairs, correct?
Oh, yeah, she did a roof and a very large deck in the back.
Trying to help get it sold.
Yeah.
And when you when you found out that she wanted to sell and coming to you, and then later on seeing the moving trucks, did that really surprise you, knowing that she was talking about opening up a law firm in Florida or in New York? Well, let me
I don't
ask
know
you
the
this
question.
one. If you're opening up a business in another state, it's kind of expected that you're going to need to move to that other state.
Yes.
Okay. And she had discussed with you her plans on expanding her law firm.
Correct.
Okay. And it wasn't going to be in Pennsylvania.
No.
Hi, Scott.
So you were saying with the closing.
Yeah, I saw the Turtle Boys arraignment on Broken Baker's channel. That was interesting. For the prosecution to meet up with a judge that actually didn't give them a rubber stamp on what they wanted. Turtle Boy Aiden, it's the Karen Reed case. The journalist who they tried to silence. And to my knowledge, Turtle Boy is doing just fine. And, well, he's released on his own recognizance. So something about an expected trial in April, which will be, I would assume, after the Karen Reed goes to trial.
That normally you have both the buyer and seller there, but there have been times that the buyer, or excuse me, the seller for whatever reason can't make it.
Yes.
And she did try to follow through by executing the deed. Yes or no?
Correct.
Okay. And it wasn't her that forgot to fill out that part. It appears that it was the notary that she used in Florida that forgot to put in state of blank, county of blank.
I do not know.
Are you a notary in Pennsylvania?
I am not.
Okay. But normally, have you ever had any notary work done?
We normally close with the title company.
Okay. But normally it's the notary that fills all that portion out because they're signing off on it. Where they're executing this document and then acknowledging that this person signed in front of them.
I assume.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this. You said that when you saw those two statues, that you decided to do, well,
I only seen one.
you had only seen one. Okay.
Yes.
But then you got the picture of the second one.
Correct.
And you started doing your own research about this religion.
Yes, I just wanted to see what it was.
Okay. So you did your own research? Yes or no?
Yes.
Because it made you curious?
Yes, because the buyer was uncomfortable and I didn't really know why.
Okay. And you didn't know why the buyer would be.
Right.
So in your research of this religion, did you find out that it's an indigenous Mexican religion connected to Catholicism?
Well, I don't know what the second word is, but yes, it was a Mexican religion.
Being Catholic.
Yes.
Okay. And that in this religion, it's judgment free. Did you find anything?
I did read that, yes.
So you could be a lesbian or gay, transsexual, transgender, black, white, rich, poor, and this would be an accepting religion.
Yes, it said that.
Okay. And people from all walks of life use it. People who have been in prison are involved in this religion and people who've never been in any trouble are in this religion? What you
That I
researched.
don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ask the witness, Your Honor.
I don't think what you know. May this witness be found?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
please.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Not she tried to sell her house,
Thank you.
and then she did.
Call your next witness.
That's it, except for the statue, and it's a religion. And so far, United States of America has freedom of religion.
Agent Raul Perez.
Okay, next witness.
That's it. Good afternoon. All right, if you would please stop and raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you. You may proceed.
Looks like
Good afternoon.
agent.
Could you state clear name for the record, sir?
Raul Perez, P-R-E-Z.
And how are you currently employed?
I'm employed as a special agent for the Florida Department of Law Enforcement.
And what is the Florida Department of Law Enforcement?
It's a state investigative agency out of Florida, much like your Texas DPS. And we have 7 regions. I'm assigned to the region on South Florida, which encompasses Miami, Dade County, Broward, Palm Beach, and Monroe County, the Keys.
And how long you been with, it's FDLE, is that the
Yes.
initials? How long you been with FDLE?
27 years.
27 years. And any experience in law enforcement prior to that?
Yes.
What else have you done?
I was retired from a city in Miami called North Miami Beach. I did 20 years with them.
So all said, 47 years. law
Coming up on
enforcement.
47.
All right. And what's kind of your role there at FDLE as a special agent?
I'm currently assigned to a guns, gangs, and drug task force. It's a government-funded task force that we specialize in violent crimes. I've been on that squad for about 5 years.
And in 2021, early for the first half of 2021, were you in that same role or something different?
Same role.
Same role. Does your role, or does your office assist in assisting out-of-county, out-of-state agencies if they're apprehending a suspect in your state?
Yes.
So how does that work? If, in this case in particular, right, we've got Dallas Police Department reached out to Florida in some capacity?
What I believe happened is normal channels would be the agency that's requesting assistance goes to Tallahassee, which they have what they call a fusion center, and the fusion center feeds it out to whatever region would deal with that situation. In this case, I believe went to Tallahassee, went to Miami. We have what they call a duty agent that's on 24 hours a day for 7 days. It's on rotation. He got the call and he notified us.
And was that Detective Christine Ramirez reaching out from Dallas Police Department?
That's correct.
You just spoke with her as well?
Yes.
Okay. Based on that call, what was the FDLE's involvement to be? Or whenever Dallas reached out to FDLE, what's your involvement going to be?
Well, at that point, I initially got the response. I started coordinating the efforts between the Texas and ourselves and trying to confirm everything, the information that they gave us. And I ran it through our analytical people. We have 2 analysts assigned to our squad.
Stop a second. What was Dallas looking for?
2 individuals that had open warrants.
When their warrants were for murder?
Yes, they were.
Okay, so they had active warrants for murder, and they got these 2 individuals. You know who those 2 individuals were?
Yes.
Okay, who was it?
Nina, she went by a couple of last names, and Lisa.
Okay. And we're talking March of 2021. Is that
That's,
right?
I believe so.
I believe does March 22nd, 2021 sound about right when you guys would have gotten that initial call?
Yes.
And so you're told about these two women that have arrest warrants for murder from Dallas Police Department, and they're wanting your help to contact them and potentially arrest in the same.
Correct.
Okay. And you said there's Tallahassee kind of spreads out, finds out who's going to do what, essentially. Am I getting that right?
That's correct.
Okay. And then you get involved. I guess there's information that they may be in the Miami-Dade area.
Correct.
Okay. So walk me through whenever that kind of gets on your desk. How does that work?
We gave the information to our analysts, and they have various databases that they can run certain information, and we end up getting a couple addresses. So at that point, actually, there was a couple addresses in Florida. So I believe our Orlando region checked some residences up in central part of Florida. And then there was a couple addresses that we had in South Florida.
And you guys begin to start checking out those South Florida addresses.
Correct.
Was a plan, I guess, did you guys discover or confirm where those addresses?
Yes.
Okay.
Ow.
And what was the plan then once one of those addresses was confirmed as being the address of Nina and Lisa?
Set up surveillance.
And who went out to survey that?
Initially, it was
Remember,
Crystal.
hit the thumbs up.
Agent Crystal then went out
That's
there
the
and
channel.
did surveillance. Did he eventually make an arrest?
yes,
That wasn't the initial plan, was it?
No.
But he's here to testify as well, is that right?
that's correct.
So we get into kind of his reasoning, but he had a reason as to why he kind of skips out of the plan and makes the arrest of, was it Nina Morano?
Yes,
He makes the arrest of Nina Morano there at the apartment complex, is that right?
that's correct.
Local law enforcement, Miami-Dade would also have been coordinating in with you guys.
That's correct.
And then you would just respond out to that arrest location.
That's correct.
Was Lisa Dykes there?
We never saw her.
Did your investigation lead you to believe that she was there prior?
Yes,
And in fact, was there a surveillance video at the, this was an apartment complex?
yes, it was.
Was there a surveillance video at that apartment complex?
Yes, there was.
After the arrest of Nina, did you all view that video?
Yes,
What did you see?
that Lisa was leaving the location.
And Nina, ultimately, did you get consent to go in and check the apartment?
That's correct.
Now, when you guys go in and check that Miami apartment, were you doing a full search or just check in to make sure everything's safe?
Check for Lisa. That's it.
Just looking for Lisa?
Wasn't there and we cleared.
So you're not taking inventory of the house, you're not doing any of that kind of stuff?
Absolutely not.
You're just checking to make sure that the defendant or the suspect you're looking for is not there and there's no other danger in the home?
That is correct. And she had an open murder warrant at the time.
So house goes in, it's cleared empty in that apartment?
Correct.
And then that would have been, do you remember what day Nina was arrested?
I don't. I could check my reports and
If I were to show you your report, would that help refresh your memory of the day she was arrested?
absolutely.
Commissioner Berger?
You may.
Yeah, this is kind of damning to Lisa and Nina, knowing, telling the jury, yes, they had arrest warrants for murder. So where were Chuck? I would assume
Yes,
already in custody.
Well, was Nina arrested?
March 25th.
And you said Lisa seen exiting the area of the apartment on those apartment surveillance videos that day.
Yes,
Correct. Was Lisa ever apprehended in Miami?
No.
Okay. Was she ever arrested for it?
yes,
Was FDLE assisting in locating and getting her arrested as well?
yes.
Where was she ultimately arrested?
In the Orlando area.
How did FDLE help find her in Orlando?
We wrote the tracker warrant and the tracker phone.
Okay.
And then our units, or what we call ESST, in conjunction with Orange County Sheriff's Office, established where she was, located her, and followed her and arrested her.
And it's Orange County Sheriff's Office that actually made the arrest.
That is correct.
But you guys are all working in tandem with one another and with the Dallas Police Department.
Correct.
And then that's essentially the end of your involvement in this, is kind of that overarching helping coordinate some of those moving parts. And then once they're arrested, obviously, you're done with your portion of this case.
That's correct.
How far of a drive is it from Miami up to Orlando?
3.5 hours.
That's what it is.
Cross-examination.
As far as, when Lisa, I guess, left Miami, you don't know why she left Miami, do you?
I do not know.
You know she had family in Orlando?
I know.
You know,
Excuse me?
just if you know.
I know now.
Let me kind of go back. Y'all keep saying that Detective Ramirez had obtained an arrest warrant for Lisa and Ms. Dykes for murder. She had an arrest warrant for capital murder, didn't she?
I don't recall. I don't know.
Why do you bring that up? Why do you bring up capital murder? Yeah, this trial is actively
You
making
said you don't know whether the initial warrant was for capital murder or murder.
I don't recall. It would be on the arrest form.
Yeah. Rapper talked first, and Lisa is on trial. I would assume he's testifying for a deal. Yes, capital murder is worse than lowercase murder.
Whether it was a capital, let me rephrase the question. Regardless of what type of warrant, whether it was a capital murder or murder, this is the warrant that you guys received information from Dallas or Detective Ramirez that they're looking for, Lisa Dykes and Nina Morales in the Florida area.
Prior to that, we confirmed the warrants.
Okay, when you confirm the warrants, can I approach you?
You may.
You get this one.
Yeah, I would assume that they fled to
This
let.
may be a better question for Detective Ramirez.
I assume they fled to let Chucky hang dry. But he snitched, and I would assume neither Nina or Lisa ever thought they would be arrested or charged, or at least now Lisa Dykes being charged after woman-beating womanizer, failed rapper snitched, because he is so credible. So credible.
I mean, this appears to be, when you talk about the date that Nina Morano got arrested, it's March the 22nd, or in that March of 2021, right?
The day we arrested her, or the day?
Yeah, what was the date you arrested? Do you remember?
I just said it. March 25th, was it?
Okay. All right, but does that appear to be a warrant for Nina Morano for the offense of capital murder?
I'm not familiar with the Texas. If you give me a minute, I'll just look at it if you want. I mean,
That's not even a complete warrant. Don't worry about it. I'll ask another one. Thank you. But when you talk about warrants, again, you guys are acting, y'all not just going to pick them up, right? Because they don't have warrants out of Florida, right?
it's an extraditable warrant.
I know, but I'm saying they don't have any warrant out of Florida.
No,
They get picked up for something that happened in Texas, right?
that's correct.
And even when you were, I guess I think you told members of the jury, when y'all went in that house to execute the warrant, y'all not searching, right?
No,
Because you don't have a search warrant, right?
we do not have a search warrant. We were looking, she gave us permission, verbal consent to go in and look for the body. That's all we went in for.
But if you wanted to search, you would have went to the judge and got a search warrant, correct? You wouldn't just went in the house without her consent, right?
Absolutely not.
And it's the same thing, you wouldn't just arrest these ladies without a proper warrant, would you?
That's correct.
Arrest warrant.
We have to have confirmed that it was a valid warrant, and we did.
If this is in March of 2021, then they already found the remains. So why would they go into a house in Florida looking for a body? What's going on here?
That's all I have to check with press. Thank you.
Anything further?
Just briefly, I forgot to ask you, Agent Press, States 288, 289, those are the book-in photos from Florida for Nina, isn't that right?
That's correct.
So,
That's right.
how do you forget that?
Anything further from the defense?
No, that's just.
May this witness be finally excused.
No,
Because
All right, sir, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
investigation, lazy. Prosecution,
Call your next.
lazy. That's my opinion.
At this time, the state calls Special Agent Crystal.
Okay, another special agent.
Sir, if you would please stop and raise your right hand. You can solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I'm gonna do.
Thank you. May be seated.
Thank you.
You may proceed.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Be
Vin
state
Diesel
code,
is on the
Yes, sir.
stand.
Joseph Crystal, JOSEPH, last name CRYSTAL.
And how are you currently employed, sir?
Currently, sir, I work at the Department of Homeland Security for Immigration and Customs.
How long have you been there? That's ICE?
Yes, sir.
No, you don't. You work with movies. You are in the Fast and the Furious. You are Vin Diesel. Don't try anything here. That's Vin Diesel, and nobody else.
How long you been with ICE?
Got hired with ICE in January of 2022.
2022, okay. And what do you see you do there now?
I'm a deportation officer.
And prior to that, where did you work?
Previously, before my employment, I worked with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement for approximately 7 years. And 6 years before that, I was a detective in the Baltimore City Police Department.
How many years in law enforcement?
Wasn't expecting that. I'd say about 15 and 6 years in the military.
And how long in the military?
6 years, sir.
And what branch?
The United States Coast Guard.
And kind of coming back then to your time at SDLE, Florida Department of Law Enforcement. Where were you stationed with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement?
Originally, when I got hired, I did the Governor's Protection Detail for his second term. And then I transferred to the Miami office where I worked as an agent on the Major Crime Squad. And I was also detailed to the DEA as a task force officer.
And then your involvement in this case from March of 2021, it sounds like you were tasked with doing surveillance.
Yes, sir.
So what was your task as it related to this case?
My supervisor had asked if I could assist Agent Perez in trying to locate two homicide suspects that had open warrants for homicide in the Miami area. The day before, I believe it was a Wednesday, I was given two addresses by one of our criminal analysts that were possible addresses for where they believe the two suspects might be. So I researched.
Break that a little bit. So you get the addresses from your analysts, and then you're going to do your own research from that.
Yes, sir.
And you said two addresses?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Walk us through what you're looking at with those addresses.
I looked at both addresses. I usually check them on like Google Maps. And what I noticed was on one of the addresses, it was just an address to an apartment building with no apartment. And based off my time as a narcotics detective when I was in Baltimore and in Miami, and also when I've done warrant apprehension in the past, something I learned was that sometimes criminals or people with warrants would list the address to the apartment, but not the individual unit number, because it was harder for law enforcement to figure which unit was theirs, but the mail person would just be able to match the name to the box. So my first thought was, this is the best one to look at, so I went there.
And
Asshole cat.
you go there, and did you do an investigation? What day? Do you remember what day you would have been going there?
It was Wednesday, and then the next day was Thursday, and I did the surveillance.
Okay, so it's the day before the arrest. Okay. So then about March 24th, does that sound correct?
Yes, sir.
You go out to do surveillance on your own. Is that right?
The first day, yes, sir.
Okay. Give us some context too. Commissioner Bertrand.
You may.
I had a thought here. Everybody says Nina was the quiet and soft and everything, and Lisa was the dominant. But every time I hear about people like having those kind of relationship, the person who's the actual dominant one is the one who acts mellow to the outside world. That's just a thought of mine.
Right here. States 305 through 312.
So take a look through states 305 to 311 first.
Let's show pictures of the apartment building. Yeah, why not?
Where we actually,
Correct, sir.
the
States 305 through 312.
Those are all photographs.
photographs and then a screenshot. 312 is a
Jingles
Google
is here.
Earth, screenshot.
Hi, Jingles.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, since exhibits 305 through 312 are admitted for all purposes.
Thank you. And Commissioner Klobuchar?
May.
So let's kind of start us here on states 312. This is the area that we're talking about, the park at Kendall, is that right?
That's correct, sir.
And where at on this layout here are we talking about for the apartment question?
All right.
If you recall.
I know you come in, you go into the right entrance. You go around. If my memory serves me correct, it's the, I want to say the bottom left building.
That corner.
Yes, sir.
So the bottom left corner of the apartment complex, it's this building. So there's states 305. And which apartment?
I don't know
It's
why
the,
this is even remotely
Second floor
necessary.
apartment, right there, sir.
This one?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so I wanted to get to that point so you could.
Those are- It's just to see if I saw the suspects in the area. One thing I had was I had random pictures, I believe it was from social media, like photocopies or something like that, of pictures, and I saw that they had a brown dog. I'm a big dog lover. My wife and I have three, so it was a brown, like kind of boxer, maybe something mixed with a pit bull, friendly dog. And I noticed a dog on the balcony on the second floor outside, and the sliding door was open.
Okay, so first tip you see is, hey, I see that dog that I've seen in pictures before, and the door's open. What do you do?
No.
I walked over and kind of like tried talking baby talk, you could say, to the dog, hey, just because I love the dogs and they're cute. And he was cute. And my second thought was that if they were inside, they might think, who's this weird guy talking like a 3-year-old to my dog? And at least it would give me like a visual confirmation. So after about 2 or 3 minutes of doing it, I decided, all right, this isn't working.
Okay, let me back up just a little bit here. Are you in police uniform or plain clothes?
Plain clothes, sir.
That's kind of the point of surveillance, is you're out there to just look like a regular person.
Exactly.
Okay. And so you're talking to the dog, there's no response from anyone inside.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what do you do next? You go talk to the leasing office?
First, I walked up the stairs to look at the exact apartment, whether it was letter number or how it was that I identified. And then I spoke to someone in the leasing office.
This
What
is
do you do if anyone says, did you gather information?
not necessary in the slightest. Yeah, they were there. Let's go to next.
All right, you may be seated. Call your next witness.
Your Honor, state calls for Lisa Dykes.
All right, Mr. Dykes.
Jimmy Dykes. Okay.
All right, Sheriff, you would please stop and raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
You may be seated, sir. Please watch your step. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
Hello,
Could you state and spell your name for the record?
my name is Jimmy Dykes, JIMMYDYKES.
Yes, sir. And where are you from?
Somerset, Kentucky, originally.
Originally? How long did you live in Kentucky?
Ooh, most of my life. I don't remember exactly when I moved down, but I stayed there until after I graduated. Well, I didn't really graduate, but I went to college 3 years after that. I moved down, went to Florida.
Okay. Whereabouts in Florida did you live?
I've lived all over Florida. Back then, I think we moved down to
No,
Smyrna
Dykes
first,
was her
and
maiden
then
name. So this is
wandered
a
around,
brother,
went up to
a son,
Daytona
or
for a
something.
while. I've been around.
Where are you living now?
And Davenport, Florida.
Okay. Where's that at in Florida?
It's south of Orlando a little bit, not too far, by Champions Gate, which you don't know where that is either, but that's where it is.
South of Orlando.
South of Orlando, not too far.
Okay. You work up in Orlando, is that right?
Yes.
It's right there between Davenport and Orlando, right?
It's not too far.
Okay. You work at Disney?
Yep, sure do.
How long you work for Disney?
Oh, I first started Disney a long time ago, like 2004.
Oh, it's a
I
son.
took a short break in the middle,
Maybe.
but you know.
Okay. We'll get into that a little bit. You're having to miss some work right now to be down here, is that right?
I'm afraid so. I got like $100 to my name.
Okay, we'll try and get you out of here and back to Florida. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about Lisa here in the courtroom. That's your sister, is that right?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
She older or
Brother.
younger?
She's older than me, like 10 years older.
Okay. And
He's 50?
have you and Lisa lived together before?
Oh, off and on, like families do. You know, like she always made, she was the money maker, and I was always the peasant. So when I ran into trouble and mom and dad weren't around, she would sometimes let me stay with her, sometimes not. It's a lottery.
Sure, so there have been times where you needed some help or a place to live, and Lisa was the stable one who.
Yeah, she always was lucky with money.
I guess at some point you moved to Texas.
Oh yeah.
You lived
Oh,
with Lisa then?
I can tell you about that.
Okay.
So I was living in Davenport, I think, yeah, Davenport, and I was living with my mom who had cancer. I was taking care of her. She was real sick, and after she died, I was kind of lost there. I didn't have no direction in life. I didn't know what to do, so I didn't have any money either. So after she died, she offered to let me live with them. So
Lisa said, "Hey, you can come stay with me."
yeah, so I went out there.
Where'd you come to Texas to live with Lisa?
She was out in Wilmer at the time, in a little house out there. I'm not really sure where I should look. I don't know. It's new to
You
me.
and I are talking, but it's mainly for the jury. So wherever you feel comfortable looking, it's really fine. Okay, and I know it's
I'm-
right to be up there. Okay. And you said you lived with her in Wilmer, Texas. Is that right?
Yeah, that's where she was at when I went out there.
You recall that address?
I might if you showed it to me, but I don't.
Okay, for you who don't remember, Wilmer is the place where the body was found. Not exactly Wilmer, but close to Wilmer.
know it off the top of my head. Like they'll probably come back to me if he's ready to me.
I'm sure you would have marked too.
Mr. Dykes, you can't just speak out. You have to wait.
Oh,
for your
I'm sorry.
question. That's all right.
No worries. You've never testified before, right?
No, never.
It's kind of an awkward process, so you shall wait till I ask the question, all right? Here's state 49. 274 Turning True Road in Wilmer, Texas. Do you recall that house?
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. At the end of that street there that we can see, it just kind of ends in a dead end. There's a big old field out there in Wilmer. Is that right?
Well, there was at the time.
That's how you remember it, though. Is that right?
It looks just similar. It looks different a little bit, but it's probably just because time went by.
Okay. And so you come to that house in Wilmer. Do you remember about when that was?
Oh, it would be a guess on my part, but I think it's around 2016.
And that's when you moved in with Lisa here in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you have to answer.
Oh, yes.
Just because she has to write everything
Oh,
down.
I'm sorry.
And when you moved in, so who all lived there with Lisa?
When I moved in, it was just her and Aaron and Chelsea was there.
And who are Aaron and Chelsea?
Well, that's our kids.
And so Aaron and Chelsea already lived in there in Wilmer with their mom, with Lisa.
Well, yeah.
And then you moved in.
Yeah. Plus one, yeah.
How long did y'all live in that Wilmer house?
Oh, I don't remember. It was a year or more. I don't remember how long it was.
Why'd you guys leave?
Oh, she ran into trouble with the landlord. Somehow, I don't know. I think they found the dog. I don't remember how they got a dog, but somehow Lisa produced a brown dog. And it was a bulldog, I think. And it caused a ruckus and broke the fence and things. And so the landlord was distraught about that. And Lisa found another house.
Okay, so Lisa has a dog. Dog's not
He's
allowed to be there.
really
Sorry.
nervous.
We're
Really,
gonna
really
move out of this 274 house. We're going to move on to somewhere else.
Well, there wasn't any other choice, I suppose. Yeah.
Okay. Where'd y'all move to next?
She got a place out there in it's the Kensington house. I don't remember where it's Mesquite. That's it. Mesquite's the name.
Kensington House in Ski. All
That's
right.
right.
And you lived there with her as well?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Hi, Shanagram. Big sis. Yeah, this kid is no. I say kid, he's 50. If he's 10 years younger than Lisa Dykes, he's 50.
Let me know if it looks
Jesus.
about right to you. Look about right?
Yeah, it looks right. It looks correct.
Because that house had an alleyway, is that right? With the back entrance for that garage?
Yeah. There was an alleyway that you had to use to get to the garage.
And then it's got what looks like 3 bedrooms, is that right?
Yeah, I think it does. Yeah.
And so you, Lisa, Chelsea, and Aaron all moved there.
Mhm.
And Chelsea and Aaron are kiddos, but were they adults at this time?
Yeah.
How old are Chelsea and Aaron?
Oh, I don't know if I could tell you. I don't know. I think Chelsea's 10 years younger than me, but I'm not sure about Aaron.
And so you guys all move into this house there in Kensington. Were things fine there?
At first, it was just a normal family arrangement, nothing weird going on. It was perfectly normal.
Um,
Dun, dun, dun. We have a Dave.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. How goes this trial?
Everything is weird and strange. Everything, absolutely everything. And
Who's the witness? I missed this morning so far.
this witness is Lisa Dykes' younger brother, and he is testifying about how Lisa is the one who is good with money, and he is the college dropout who gets himself into money problems and sometimes lives with her and sometimes don't. And in 2016, they moved from Wilmer, Texas, because landlord problems, to this house where everything happened in 2016. And
Why is this a state's witness?
Your guess is as good as mine. Earlier they had a realtor that testified that Nina Morales owned a house and sold the house.
I don't understand the state's strategy here with calling these witnesses. Like the first few witnesses were like all the witnesses I saw on day 2 were absolutely horrible for the state.
Yeah,
not horrible, but they didn't help. They were good defense witnesses, though.
Yeah, well, so the morning session they had the phone guy and the phone tower guy. Those are good testimony. And then they had the realtor, and who else did they have? They are so and the 2 arresting officers in Florida. Special Agent Vin Diesel and Special Agent something else.
Interesting.
And that's just, they had warrants out because they went to Florida and they found them in Florida. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Well,
so
we'll see
far,
where this goes, I suppose.
Yeah, the only thing that is of actual evidence. Oh, they had the first witness of the afternoon was Chuck is someone he dated. And she started off with telling the prosecution, yeah, he was kind of a nice guy and this. And then when everything went down on October 4th and 5th, all of a sudden she drove them around and stuff like that. Then on cross-examination, the defense asked her, well, why didn't you leave? Well, I kind of didn't had the guts to. Oh, is it because he didn't let you leave? Yeah. So everything points to Chuck.
Yeah,
everything.
I mean, every witness that I've heard thus far points to him.
Yeah. And
it's good to know. I just got a Rumble alert, by the way, that you're starting this stream now.
Yeah, 2 hours ago. Yeah, and the cop who did the search warrant in the house where everything was supposed to happen, they asked him, did you see any blood spatter? Answer, no. None. Nothing on walls, nothing on ceiling, nothing. Just these 4 spots that reacted to Blue Star. So how did they get it to stabby if there are no blood spatter anywhere in the house?
Well, because that conforms with Chuck, the potentially true guilty one's statements.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, everything points to Chuck, in my opinion, but he is the one who snitched on Lisa and said she did the stabby.
Well, the state will get a prosecution, and they can say case closed.
Yeah. But let's continue to listen to
a
younger brother.
emergency, like a blood clot.
That guy is 50 years old. Okay.
Yeah, I can see
Yeah,
it.
so she had a,
Was that at this address or back at the,
I thought it was Wilmer, but I think it was this address.
okay. If you don't know, something that's perfectly fine.
I'm pretty sure it was here in retrospect, thinking back, because I remember the big bedroom, and I think that's where it happened.
Okay, and so she had a blood clot issue?
And yeah, I wasn't there, I was at work, but I know what happened. She had a blood clot, and they had to take her to the hospital, and it was touch and go whether or not she would survive. They didn't know.
Scary ordeal,
Very.
and she was lucky to make it through.
Yes.
That sums up that, and that was probably pretty scary, right?
Yeah, it must have been, yes.
But after that, was there a change in Lisa that you started to see?
And yes, definitely.
What did you start to see?
I wouldn't say I was ever particularly, close. So, we weren't really that close, but nevertheless, we were a family. So we did talk together and eat together and things like that. But after that, she kind of just became obsessed with going out and, being young and regressing, having a midlife crisis type of thing, like regressing to childhood, trying to get back lost time, hanging out with young people instead of like the family. Basically, from that point on, all his family members were just rapidly but not instantly phased out. Like, she were just neglected utterly. And instead, she spent all of her time with other strange people we never met or interacted with. She stayed out a lot.
She starts going out more, these different people, and you guys are taking the back burner.
No, we're not even in the burner. Yeah, we don't have hardly any communication. She just does her own thing at that point.
Is pretty soon after that, then does Charles Beltran come into the picture?
Well, I don't really know much about Charles, but
Does he come into the picture at some point?
Yes.
This has happened.
Yes, after that incident,
He goes by Chuck, is that right?
I think so. I've heard people call him that.
You've met him, what, maybe once or twice?
I saw him literally one time in the kitchen, and he immediately had left. So I don't have any interaction with Chuck to speak of, but I do know that it was after her, ordeal that she got with him.
And at some point, Lisa bought an Audi, black Audi.
It showed up mysteriously.
Did you find paperwork about that Audi?
Yeah, I saw a thing where she had bought it, and it was for Chuck. So.
And at some point, did you have to move out of that house?
Yes, out of the blue. I mean, like I said, she had been spending all of her time out and not at home. But one day, she was just like, "I need the house to myself. You guys got to go live your own life." And we were like really shocked because that came out of the left field over there, And she was just like, "Don't worry, I'll help you get started." But after that, you're on your own. So that was that.
Where'd you go after that?
And we came to Davenport, Florida. So.
And then you didn't have the same house that you.
Yeah, same place.
Lisa helped you get that house up there?
Yeah, she helped. We don't understand how to buy houses, so she helped a lot with the process.
So she helped through that. I'll help you get settled and set up there.
Good question. Who is
Oftentimes,
We is him and her kids. So they were
okay?
So Lisa, her son and daughter, and this guy and her brother lived in that house where everything happened. Then she had a blood clot, touch and go, came back, and then she went into midlife crisis. And we know all about that. She met Chucky, got a toy boy, and then she told her family to get out of my house, more or less. Parabellum, member for 3 months. Wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas. A very Merry Christmas to you too, Parabellum. Thank you for being a member. And Feral Housewife says, Hola, David.
Hello, Farrell. You're not supposed to be here, though.
And you don't have much interaction with her from that point on, is that right?
I honestly, I don't remember her calling me at all. Like, maybe one time when the air conditioner blew up, I called her to see if she would help us fix it because the air conditioner's a lot of money. And she was like, "You'll figure it out." So, other than that, I don't remember communicating with her at all until, if she did, it was just like random, casual conversations. Like,
Do you remember about when that was when you moved, when you're forced out of a mesquite home and sent back to Dad?
oh yeah, I remember that.
When was that?
That was 2019, around August, but it could have been end of July.
Okay, so.
All right. Thank you, Parabellum, for gifting 5 memberships. And it went to Shenigram, Tyler, Dave, what does it say there? Tyler Crother?
You're asking me? Oh, my God. Tyler Crotherds. Crothers. That's my guess.
Mac Argale, Emma, and WV. Hey, welcome. And there's members-only content all over my channel and a link to my Discord. And here's Excited Utterance. Hello, Hella. Morning. Nick is handsome and David is hiding. Yep. Thank you for being a member for 6 months.
Because I never drive and stream.
No, but you talk to text, and that's quite funny at times.
Well, everyone's got to have a trademark.
Yeah, but thank you, Parabellum, for gifting 5 memberships. That brings us to, we are $15 to the next shot. Hey!
That late summertime.
Mhm.
Yes.
I think. No, we are $10
Late summertime 2019.
from next shot.
I'm ready to live my life, and I can't do that with y'all, so go get 7 down for it.
Correct. That's pretty much exactly what happened.
Is that when you went back to work for Disney when you got back out there?
Yeah, I got hired back almost instantly.
What did you do for work out here when you were living?
Oh, I was working for Amazon out here.
And then from
You're
August or so,
exactly where you're
2019
supposed to be, Farrell. You're always welcome
You
here.
have much communication with your sister Lisa Dykes.
I don't honestly remember any I had with her, but I know her kids had some. But it was even with the kids, it was just like, I'm alive. This is very basic.
But so it's you, Chelsea, and Aaron that now live out there and have lived out there in that Davenport home since 2019.
Yes.
And she has another son as well, right, Kyle?
Kyle, yeah.
Now he's got a different dad, different last name than Chelsea and Aaron, right?
Yes.
But my point of that is he's not with you guys. He wasn't living with you all at any of these times.
No. I think he might have lived with her in Wilmer before I got there, but I'm not even sure about that.
Okay. You think he might have lived there at Wilmer, but he wasn't by the time you got there.
No.
Okay. And but he lives in the Dallas area.
Well, he did. I don't know if he does now.
You and Kyle have much of a relationship.
I would say a negative relationship. Yes. We don't get along at all.
And so let's talk a little bit about the next time you kind of see Lisa. Was that early 2021?
I didn't literally see her then, but she came by sometime that year, and I wasn't at home, but she dropped off the Tucson. It was a vehicle she had. Aaron's name was on the vehicle, and she wasn't going to make any more payments on it, so she dropped it off.
And that was that white SUV Tucson?
Yeah. She was like, if you don't want it, just turn it back in. And Aaron didn't want it to destroy his credit, so we kept it and paid for it for a while.
And that's states 293. And I think actually the states 293 is a photograph of that Tucson out in your driveway in Davenport, is that right?
Yeah, that's it. That's what we call the white turkey.
So the white turkey part, and that is your house right there, right? Dallas
Yes.
Police Department came out and talked to you about that Tucson?
Yes.
About Lisa? You
Yes.
talked with them, you and Aaron both spoke with detectives to let them know, you don't know much, but you'll answer questions.
Yes, that's it.
And because you obviously, October of 2020, you're long gone from living with Lisa.
Yes, totally.
But sometime before she's arrested, you're aware she's arrested in Florida. We're going to get to that in a second. But before that, when she dropped this white Tucson on.
Yes, and she dropped it off while I was at work, and then I saw when I came home. That was the story behind it.
Okay. And at some point, kind of late March, did you get a call from Lisa?
Yeah, she called insanely early in the morning, and I was mostly asleep. And she said that she wanted money to come up to Orlando because she wanted to meet with her lawyer up here. And I told her I didn't have any money, so it wasn't going to work. And so I told Aaron about it, and I think he sent her money. I think he did, but I'm not really sure.
That next day, did you hear about anything?
Well, the same day, later on in the day, the police showed up and told us what was going on, which I was floored by that information. All my years of life, I would never dream such a thing could transpire. I never thought that would happen. But yeah, the next day,
she asked for
we
money.
what happened there?
That she got arrested?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's weird. She asked them for money, but
to go meet with her lawyer, and then the next day she's arrested.
Yeah. But to my knowledge, Nina sold the house. They should have had plenty of money, unless Chucky blew it all, because they did buy him a $50,000 Audi. And
yeah, but the fact that she's asking for money for a lawyer the day before she gets arrested seems to imply that she knows something's going on, and that maybe she knows, like you said, maybe it was an overdose or something, and they all got together to disappear the body.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, and then both Nina and Lisa seems to have ditched Chucky. And so that gives him a reason to try to blame. Or as people in the chat have said, it sounds more and more while we learn about Chucky being this with a violent past and everything. Maybe Marisela told him no, and it got out of hand. And for some odd reason, they helped him dispose of the body.
Yeah, and like you said, it says there's nothing wrong with getting a lawyer, but, her defense is essentially that Chucky did something to this woman and she had nothing to do with it. She didn't, never met this woman, never saw this woman.
Yeah.
Which would go against that story if the day before she was arrested, she was interrogated though, right?
Well, they tried to reach out to her and they tried to call her on occasions, the police. So she did know something was going on. And then all of a sudden, yeah. So.
All right, so that takes it out of the suspicious realm a little bit then.
Yeah. But so far, every solid piece of evidence so far points at Chuck, in my opinion. But he snitched on Lisa and Nina, and I can't for my life understand why neither of them snitched on him. Or if they tried to and weren't believed for some odd reason.
That's probably more likely what it was.
Yeah, people are weird. I mean, it's a strange case and even stranger trial because so far we are almost at the end of the third day, and everything I've heard points at Chuck.
I'm gonna listen for a little bit, but I've got to go tend to the horse. I'll keep my screen on and everything. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Hi, Jimmy. I'm Valerie Baston, and I know we've talked before.
Yes.
Okay. It wasn't that Lisa was lucky with money. Lisa worked very hard for money in her career, right? Yes or no?
Well, yes. I mean,
so it wasn't like she just won a lottery. She was a very hard worker.
Well, yeah, she worked a lot.
Okay. And she took care of you, Jimmy. Yes or no?
Well, yes.
She allowed you to come live with her in Texas.
Yes.
Then after a while, it wasn't working out with you being in the house anymore. And she actually put the down payment down for the house in Florida. Yes or no?
I don't know much about that, but Aaron would know more about that than me.
Well, you just can't get houses off of your good looks. So someone had to come up with the money for the down payment on the Davenport house.
Well, I presume you're correct, but I don't know for sure.
Okay. And Lisa sent you and her kids money all the time. Yes or no?
Well, not to me, but she might have sent it to the kids.
Now, you said you saw a change in Lisa after she had that bad health scare.
Oh, yes.
Okay. She almost died.
Oh, yes.
Okay. And then you said she started bringing strange people around, like her coworkers.
She had coworkers came to the house which had never done a thing before ever, and she also went out all the time.
But she was going out for her job at the law firm doing marketing events, like at the rodeos and other places like that. Yes.
Well, she went down to Deep Ellum a lot and hung out down there a lot. So.
Okay, but she was also doing things for her job.
Well, I'm sure she did both. Yeah.
Okay. And these strange people, and I'm just going to ask you, Jimmy, because it's been mentioned in some documents that I read. You're really not that fond of minorities. So these strange people that she was bringing around, they were black, they were Hispanic, and you didn't like that, did you?
I don't have anything against minorities.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
And isn't that what caused the rift, especially when she brought this new boyfriend around, Charles Beltran, who is?
He was never really brought around. I only saw him one time in the kitchen, and the only thing that happened was one day she was just like, "I need the house to myself." She didn't mention anything about any relationship with anybody.
Or when she married Nina Morano, who is also part black, that didn't bother you?
I didn't even know she got married to Nina Morano until after the arrest. That was a shock too.
And you said this outing mysteriously showed up.
Yeah, it was just there one day.
And so digging through her personal papers, you found out that it was registered to both her and to Charles Beltran.
Well, it was just laying on the counter in the bedroom. It wasn't really required to look. It was just there.
In her bedroom.
Well, yeah.
Okay. You went into her bedroom.
Well, that was quite common. We passed through it all the time.
And you say, though, you weren't close to Lisa, but Lisa provided substantial support for you.
Well, that's what family does.
Even for family members they're not close to, as you stated?
It's pretty normal in Kentucky.
Oh, okay. Now this Tucson was actually registered to Aaron, correct?
They're both of their names are on it.
Who's both of them?
Lisa and Aaron, they bought it together.
Okay. But you're the one who gave the police permission to go inside the Tucson?
I was the only one who would go out and talk to them. Aaron was very shy. He only came out after I volunteered.
But Aaron was at the house too.
Yes.
And the detectives also talked to Aaron.
Yes.
But you're the one who gave permission.
Well, honestly, I don't remember
Yes or no?
particularly. I'm not
Yes or no?
sure.
You can't remember?
No, we were both there, so I'm not really sure. I think I did, but I'm not sure.
For a vehicle that wasn't yours?
Well, Aaron was standing right there. I'm confused.
Not a good cross-examination. Because seriously, if you're going to go out in, you don't like minorities, and he seemed honestly surprised by that. He might be, I don't know, and I don't really care. But if you say this, you better have something to back that up with. But then again, prosecution didn't object. So maybe, I don't know. Everything about this case is strange.
Pass the witness, Your Honor. Can you redirect?
Okay, so she didn't have anything to back that up. Seriously, lawyers, I don't like this, because when they, in my opinion, fail with the cross-examination, then you fail your client. And I mean, you just can't say, you don't like minorities, don't you? And then just leave it. That goes, no, Jesus Christ.
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Dykes. You're free to leave and go back to business. Please watch your step getting down to the witness stand.
I apologize for my faux pas.
Oh, you're fine. Thank you. Call your next witness.
Okay.
Here at this time, the state would call Sergeant Scott Haynes.
Please have something that is actual evidence. Officer, what?
Are at 77. I don't know. Tomorrow. Stop and raise your right hand. Can you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
You may proceed. Thank you. You may proceed.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Could you please state and spell your name for the record, sir?
My name's Scott Ames, Scottames.
And how are you currently employed, sir?
I'm a sergeant at the Orange County Sheriff's Office.
How long have you been with the Orange County Sheriff's Office?
Orange County, 23 years.
23 years. Any other law enforcement
I
experience?
was at the city of Palm Bay for 6 years.
So coming up on 30 years?
Correct.
All right. And what's your current role there in the Sheriff's Office in Orange County?
I run what Orange County calls a felony unit. And basically what that is a unit, we have two of them. And we're tasked with going out and apprehending wanted fugitives.
I'm sorry, the last part.
Apprehending wanted fugitives.
And that could be your local fugitives that have got warrants for local.
Yeah, it could be for local folks, warrants out of Orange County. We're also cross-run with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement and the U.S. Marshals.
And so like in this case, you obviously get tasked with executing an arrest warrant for a Dallas case.
Correct. It was a collateral from Dallas to the Miami field office of FDLE, and it came up to Orlando.
And then so how does it land on kind of your desk, so to speak?
So we get contacted by the FDLE out of Orange County, and anytime they have a collateral case, they reach out to us.
and my team to go out and assist with the apprehension.
And so what do you start doing at that point?
Well, they were already tracking a phone, and we were advised that the phone was in the area of the Florida Mall, which is down there close to Orlando International Airport.
And so the phone's being tracked, and you guys are getting that information as to kind of where?
Correct.
And then what do you do with that information?
We respond to the Florida Mall because that's where it was being tracked to. We start fanning out. It's a fairly large mall. And one of my team members, I guess, sees Lisa in the open food court, which is outside. So you're sitting outside. Basically, you can eat inside or outside, but she's outside.
So she's observed at the mall. Do you remember what day this was? This was 2021, is that right?
Yeah, March 26th, I believe.
So March 26, 2021, you're seeing her at the mall. Are you guys, I'm assuming they're in plain clothes?
Yeah, we wear shorts and t-shirt, look like regular Florida people, and unmarked cars.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you guys
It's
are following her at that point?
We watched her for a little bit. We also knew there was one outstanding. Charles.
It's $10 for the next one.
So we weren't sure if he was in the area as well. So instead of just apprehending her, we wanted to observe her for a while, surveil her, and see where she brought us.
Did she have anything with her there at the mall?
She had some bags.
Like bags like purse or bags like shopping?
Shopping.
Was one of those bags from like a phone store?
It was.
And so you guys watch her there at the mall. Where do you follow? She leave the mall?
Yeah, a vehicle shows up, a smaller vehicle, and we determined it was an Uber, and we trailed that vehicle over to our International Drive area, which is a tourist area, a lot of hotels, and she ended up pulling into the Metropolitan, which is the north side of I Drive.
Okay. And then what do y'all do then?
I pulled in first. One of my guys pulled in second. I got out of the car. I actually went into the Metropolitan first, into the lobby. The Dykes came in, and then one of my guys came in after, and we watched her register and get a room.
And then did you guys talk to the
Hello again.
Yeah. So as Ms. Dykes went to the room, she was.
What?
Oh, I just said hello again. That was a little more involved. I had to jump off.
No worries, no worries. Meet Officer Scott Ames. He was
Okay.
among those who found Lisa Dykes. They tracked her phone to a mall and then followed her Uber to some hotel. And
What
here we are.
new is he going to add in addition to the other officer that testified that they were walking through the field and they found her, Anything?
Absolutely no. I assume this is all about the arrest in Florida.
Okay.
This is the third officer that talks about how they found her in Florida.
Given, my guy followed her, and I got with management, explained what was going on, and they gave us a room number and a hotel key. And they did ask us to, if we were going to make the arrest, to go around back. So we observed.
No need to make a big scene.
Yeah, with all the customers and everything on the choice.
And so did you guys stage up there in the back? You had keys to enter the back of the hotel and all that?
Yeah, we staged in the back. We made a plan. How we were going to do it? I had people on the outside. It was the first floor room, so I had people in the back. We weren't sure. Again, weren't sure if Charles was in the area. When we determined that we didn't believe he was there, we made a plan to make an approach and knock on the door.
Okay. Did you knock on the door?
I knocked on the door, yes.
So you're the one that actually goes up and knocks on that door.
Correct.
What happened when you knocked on the door?
I knocked on the door. I didn't announce it immediately. I just knocked. And then I believe I announced our presence. And I could hear her talking on the phone as she got closer to the door. I explained to her there's a sheriff's office. I need you to come out. If you don't come out, we're coming in. And about that time, I heard her say something along the lines of, like, I think I'm getting arrested. The door opened up. She came out, was cooperative.
Went into custody.
Went into custody.
Commissioner Groshek?
You may.
I'm going to show you what I marked here. It states 314.
Yep.
Did you have a chance to review that video?
I did.
Okay. Is that your body cam from the arrest?
It is.
Okay. And that's your initials there on the disc?
Correct.
Thank you. At this time, officer states 314. I'll turn to Vince for your attention.
No objection, Your Honor. The papers continue. Excuse me.
All right, State's Exhibit 314 is admitted for all
Commissioner Groshek?
You may.
It's going to be some riveting video.
Yes, please, Your Honor.
Yeah.
It's a short video.
But he already testified to it, and she came out and nothing. Why do we have to see it?
I know. Isn't there the prosecution always objects to cumulative and all that stuff. The defense needs to start doing this more.
Yeah, I mean, this could have been 3 officers combined, maybe an hour and a half of testimony on how they found her in Florida, and now apprehended her in Florida. How is that not just, we found her in Florida, we arrested her in Florida, now she's back here? It's a 5-minute testimony. But no, this to me speaks about the weakness of the case when they have to bolster every single aspect of it.
Yeah, I don't understand this kind of stuff.
No.
Oh my God, what is this noise?
I think it is their AC.
Just turn the video on.
Okay.
They didn't even have the computer started.
Hi, Yvette. That's a lot of people for... Okay, yeah, but the warrant was for murder, so I guess they are armed top to bottom.
They look really excited. Those officers do.
You had a little bit of volume going.
Volume. That's not the volume of... Nope.
I think the first minute, there's no audio.
No audio in the first minute?
Yeah, it should be. So
Okay. So ours put on 30 seconds.
I changed it now, it goes right on. We're trying outside, we got 30 minutes on, 1:30 more. We can then put out left, water, apple down.
That's the entire SWAT team.
I thought they said they were at a house. This is an apartment?
No, this is at a hotel where they found her at the end.
Oh, okay.
Lisa, please get the door. Open the door, please. Sheriff office. Open the door. Do it now. We're coming in. Reach your hands. Step on out, walk back up. Walk up. Thank you. Turn around, face the wall. Put your phone down. Put your phone down. I know. Okay, put it down. Keep talking about that. Put it down. There you go. Put your hands behind your back, please. All right, bring it down. Good. Good, I'm walking over.
I'll stop it here. That's the end of the interaction with Lisa. Can you-
Correct.
Why was this necessary? I don't get it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't they supposed to everything she was arrested has nothing to do with the trial, that she had a warrant has nothing to do with the trial. It's what once the trial starts.
I was thinking maybe she said something, that could be used against her, but she didn't say anything. She said, okay,
yeah,
and they handcuffed her.
Yeah. So how it is not more prejudicial than probative? They arrested her. Yeah, so what? She's
Are
supposed.
they challenging the fact, is the defense challenging the fact that she was in Florida at a hotel?
No,
I doubt they would.
No. So, I don't know why this was necessary, and especially how is this not more prejudicial? Showing her arrest to the jury when obviously she is there in the courtroom. Now we do know that they fled to Cambodia later, but so what?
Yeah.
And then we see in the video there's a large number of officers out there. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's your team that's kind of in the hallway.
Yeah, there was a combination of two teams together, just because of the unknown of the second suspect. So we always bring force multiplier with us.
And FDLE is eventually out there as well.
Yeah, FDLE was in the parking lot. They were outside waiting for us.
And then Detective Clybourne was out there as well from Houston Georgia County Sheriff's Office.
Correct. Yep.
And then the room is secure at that point. Whenever you make contact and you place Lisa Dykes under arrest and you pick up her phone off the ground,
Correct.
at that point that room stays secure.
Yeah, we went in and cleared it, made sure no one else was in the room.
And then some of the things, some of her personal things were seized as part of that arrest. So.
Correct.
Start here with mark this. States.
I have no idea what the point of this is. She was arrested. Okay, well.
I have 315. I'm going off that now, Your Honor. 315. I have a chain of custody affidavit for record purposes from Officer Lee Clybourne. That's been on file.
The only thing here is maybe her phone, if that was used in Texas
Yes,
as well.
for record purposes. And that affidavit contains the items seized by Lee Clybourne in conjunction with Officer Ames, which are beginning to be with States 316 here.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, case exhibit 315 is admitted for record purposes.
And then, to that affidavit, Your Honor, states 316, which is the bag that contains 2 iPhones and a charger.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, case exhibit 316 is admitted for all purposes.
Oh my God! Did they have the microphone in that bag?
Yeah. Come on.
This should that same affidavit of 363.
Yeah, this is not pre-open.
317.
Yeah, appreciate it. 350, pursuant to the same affidavit from 315, also offering states 317, the T-Mobile box recovered. 318, the map of the hotel. 319, the passport going to.
Yeah,
Lisa
she's a scary bad person who's guilty
320,
because she ran to another state. Yeah,
321, the
but that's a 5-minute testimony.
All right, States Exhibits 317, 318, and 319 are admitted for all purposes.
Mr. Welch?
Okay.
So. You saw her checking in and stayed at that Floridian Express. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And so we see here, states 318, one of those things that she had in her room was a few business cards and some keys and things like this, where she just checked in to match with the hotel, 318, is that right?
Yes.
321, her room keys.
Yep.
She had with her states 319, her passport, is that right?
Yep.
Where she's got a passport issued to, under her name, Lisa Beltran, with an issue date of December 11th, 2020. Is that right?
Yes.
Everybody all of a sudden went under the name Beltran, which is Chuck's last name. So what I'm assuming is that are they trying to the husband-wife privilege?
I don't. My internet was getting funky, and I didn't hear what you said exactly.
Yeah, by this time, Lisa, Nina, and Charles are all under the last name of Beltran. But if they are trying to have this spouse, witness, whatever's, but if they aren't
spousal immunity.
Yeah, but if they aren't actually married, because Lisa and Nina,
Yeah, it doesn't go by last name.
So can you just change your last name in the United States?
You can fairly easily, actually, but it still doesn't matter. The marriage isn't there. You can only be married to one person.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was if anything, it only made it more suspicious and more easy to find them if everybody goes under the same last name. And this is a lawyer, a negotiator.
I feel like all three of them knew something or were involved in somehow.
Yeah. In some shape or form, everybody was involved in something. But so far, every evidence for me points to Chuck unaliving Marisela Botello. And then, for some reason, Lisa and Nina helped him get rid of the body. And, I mean, Nina Morales is a lawyer. And Lisa Dykes worked at the law office. Yeah. So everything about this is so stupid. If you actually am a lawyer, even if you're not a criminal defense lawyer, you kind of go through this in law school. I mean,
No, I didn't know she was a lawyer.
Well, Nina Morales is a lawyer. Lisa Dykes worked at the law office as a negotiator, so she does have some inkling of law. And then
maybe they thought they were smarter than everyone.
Yeah, no, yeah, maybe, but they weren't.
Yeah, well, yeah, there is a difference.
Yeah.
And she also had a 320 taxi card for Orlando as well.
Correct.
And Jingles is here again. And you talked earlier about seeing her at the mall with shopping bags, explicitly or specifically, one being from a phone store.
Correct.
States 3/17, she had a brand new T-Mobile phone.
Correct.
I'm sorry, what was that?
A brand new T-Mobile phone.
I didn't hear your name.
Correct, I'm sorry.
All right, you can pull that microphone closer to you.
Oh, okay, I got
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
3/17 is that brand new T-Mobile box that your team was watching her purchase or saw it. She had just purchased at the mall.
Yeah, she doesn't, she purchased it at the mall, I assume, but she had it outside when we saw her, so, yes.
It still has inside of it
Hey,
this confidence, charging base.
Back in the treehouse. I'm gonna jump over.
Yep.
Yes.
Hey. Yeah, nothing happened while you were gone.
Okay. Well, nothing's happened during this time.
Thank
Okay,
you, Your Honor.
cross-examination.
Sergeant Ames, I'm Valerie Baskin, and I'm going to ask you just some questions about the arrest.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Sergeant Ames, you received an arrest warrant that came out of Dallas, Texas, Dallas Police Department, is that correct?
FDLE received the arrest warrant,
Okay.
and they notified us of what they were doing.
Okay, so they notified you about the arrest warrant, Did you know where it came out of? Did you see a copy of the arrest warrant?
Never saw the arrest warrant, but I knew it was out of Dallas.
Okay. Did you ever meet with Detective Christine Ramirez?
I did not.
Okay. Did you ever talk to Detective Christine Ramirez, either when this arrest warrant was being executed or any time after about this arrest?
I've never spoken to her.
Now, you mentioned that you were also heightened to the fact there may be a second suspect named Charles Beltran.
Correct.
Okay. And did you get any information about Charles Beltran, like he was armed and dangerous or known to carry weapons or anything like that that would make two teams come out there that day?
Well, anytime we're dealing with a homicide case and people are on the run, we take that very seriously. So we, again, use a force multiplier. So it's for the safety of the officers and also for the safety of the person we're trying to take into custody.
Okay. And this was a capital murder warrant, correct?
I knew it was a homicide warrant.
Okay. And you said that you approached the door and you could hear her talking to somebody.
Not initially.
Not initially.
Well, when I knocked and didn't say anything, I think she was approaching the door, and that's when I started hearing her voice.
Okay. Could you tell she was talking to her attorney?
I didn't know who she was.
Arrangements to turn herself in?
I didn't know who she was talking to.
Okay. But she later informed you she was on the phone with her attorney.
That's what she said.
And when you took her into custody, there wasn't a fight?
No.
Okay. You didn't have to use any strong physical force with her?
No.
Okay. No taser, nothing like that?
No, she was cooperative.
She's very cooperative?
Yes.
Okay. Did she ask you any questions?
After what you saw there is the extent of our conversation.
Okay, that was it with her?
We normally, when we arrest someone, we don't know the details of the investigation, so we don't get into conversations with those folks.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Sergeant Ames.
Yes, ma'am.
Welcome to Texas.
Yep,
Thank
see
you.
how nothing
No
of a
further
witness
questions,
that
Your Honor.
was.
Can you redirect?
Absolutely
tell.
nothing.
You can tell how nothing of a witness it is when you look at the defense's cross-examination, and there was literally no cross-examination.
Yeah, I mean, that's all he did. He received an arrest warrant, or her. Yeah, he was told, go there, arrest this one. Find this one, arrest her. That's it.
That's
and yeah, and he's the third one talking about the arrest in Florida. I mean, oh,
Oh, you're on.
May this witness be kindly excused?
No objection to say.
okay.
Is there any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right.
The only
Thank you,
reason
sir.
was to
Thank you,
know
ma'am.
the
Appreciate
actual
you.
arrest.
Yes, ma'am.
That's the sole reason he was there.
Y'all may approach. You may.
Okay.
I don't like the judge in the corner, by the way.
No.
There's a few courts in Michigan that have that. I'm not a fan.
Okay.
Well, the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Thank you. May be seated. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Can you state your name and spell your name, please?
It's Michael Neely, Michael Neely.
And can you just kind of introduce yourself and to the jury? What did you do for a living? How long you've been with Dallas Police Department? Your educational background that allows you to do what you do.
I'm a senior corporal at Dallas Police Department. I've been there about 17 years now. I do digital forensics in our fusion unit, doing cell phones, computers, digital devices. I've received extensive training through Celebrite, through the International Association of Computer Investigative Specialists, those kind of things. And I've been doing it for quite a few years.
Okay. Can you tell the jury what the fusion department is?
Fusion Department, it's actually a federally funded department that works as a conduit kind of between state and local and federal agencies, intelligence, dissemination of intelligence, those kind of things. And we also do forensics for the department.
You mentioned, well, I guess, so in the fusion department, you're talking about the digital devices and things like that. How do you go about getting certain devices to perform extractions and things of that?
Sure. So if a detective has a case that involves any kind of digital evidence, which most do these days, they will bring it up to us. We will accept it, we secure it, and do whatever. Generally, we're as far as cell phones, we're going to do extractions, which just means getting the data off of the device, either a phone or a tablet or something like that.
And how do you go about getting the data off the device?
We use a number of tools. We use tools from a company called Celebrite, tools from a company called Grayshift, Graykey. Cell phones are just little computers. They're very complicated, but cell phones are privacy oriented. The manufacturers want you to have a private environment to do your business. People live on their cell phones. So it's pretty complicated to get into them. The vendors have special tools that allow us to do that. They're proprietary. We don't often know how they do it, but the tools allow us to get into phones. Sometimes it's complicated, and it really depends on the phone model, the software version, et cetera. So there's a lot of different things that go into it.
Okay, and you said sometimes. Are you able to get into every single device that is submitted to you?
No.
You mentioned that manufacturers and things like that kind of play a role in when you're able to do that. Can you explain to the jury how so?
Sure. For example, Apple. If you have an Apple iPhone, they're very privacy oriented. One of their selling points is that they secure the data on the phones. Well, that's great, except if a criminal has that and uses it in some crime, and we need to get that data for evidence. That is a barrier to us. We have to get past those security measures. Google sells Android phones. Same thing. They're trying to compete with Apple, so they're going towards the same kind of process. The phones are encrypted on the phone, so the data that you get, if you don't get it correctly, it's nonsense. It's just ones and zeros. So it's complex, and the vendors are just working harder and harder to make sure that the phones are secure.
And so is it almost kind of like this, I don't want to say competing back and forth, but the cell phone vendors, Apple, Android, and then some of these others, Motorola and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
they come out with a more secure system, if you will, and I know I'm not using the correct terminology. And then the vendors that you use, they also update their technology in order to try to combat that. Is that correct?
That's exactly what it is. The vendor makes a change, and then the security tool vendors have to make a change to try and get past that change. And so when that happens, the vendor says, okay, well, we need to make another change. If you have any modern phone, you'll notice that there's always these little updates, especially iPhones. You might get 2 or 3 updates in a month. Those are usually because there's some security flaw. Now, the security flaw might be just people trying to get in your phone or something, but it also could be that the vendor has figured out a way of getting data off the phone. And so the phone vendor, the phone manufacturer, will do something to try and fix that. And it's a never-ending race between them.
And we mentioned the other, the 2 main, I guess, vendors you have are Android right now and Apple. Is that correct?
Right. Well, so Apple manufactures their own phones, and they have their own operating system that they use on the phone. You've got Apple iPhones, and then you have the iOS operating system. Android is kind of a generic term for the operating system that's run on Android phones, but they could be from multiple manufacturers, Google or Motorola, Samsung, those kind of things. So those are really the operating systems that run on the devices, and it's pretty much standardized on those 2.
Are there other phone manufacturers that use?
How can you be more boring than this?
Android and Apple.
We really don't see anymore. So if you remember back in the day when they had flip phones or what they call feature phones, some of the older phones that were just a single device. And it depends.
Please have something.
Call logs things today.
Well, I mean, when you first time, even if it shuts, make sure
True
it's
to
just
what
stuff
the
that the
information
manufacturer might
actually
have on there.
shows.
Now, there might be other things on there like pictures. If the phone is in the AFU state, the after for some lock state, even if it's locked, they'll, of course,
What
add it
did
in.
you
Is
find?
that information extracted and how is that, I guess, been passed over to investigate?
So what we do is, depending on the tool we use, whether it's like a gray key device or whether it's a Celebrite device, we will get an extraction, a binary extraction. It's a digital
To, I guess, unlock or try to get into, is it accompanied with either a consent form or a search warrant that the detectives have signed?
Yes, yes. When they bring the device up to us, there's a form we fill out, or they fill out for the request, and then they provide us the legal reason why they're getting into the phone, a search warrant or consent or whatever.
Now, in this case, we provided, I believe, 8 devices to extract.
Finally.
Okay, and you were aware that there are some other devices, but those are the 8 that you.
Yes.
Is that correct? Detective Painting was been marked states 322 to 330. Are those your reports?
20
For the devices that
minutes.
you unlocked?
Well, how do you get into
Or
the
attempted
phone?
to unlock.
I don't care. I want to know what's in the phone. That's actual evidence.
Yeah, that's all we need to get to.
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, state offer states 323 through 330 for all purposes.
What's that where's 320?
That's the 323. Did I skip numbers, Your Honor?
All right, let's go off the record. Mrs. Garza, do we have a 320?
Yes, Judge, it wasn't admitted, but it was offered. No, but you did offer, I was gonna tell you the break, Judge, 320 and
Off the record, why you
321.
sit down in front
She
of
was
the
like-
jury?
Yes, 18 and 19, it was just these two at that, right? And then, so she just started at 322.
Yes, and that's what she said.
Yes, yes.
Okay, back on the record. All right, hold on. State's exhibits 320 and 321, those were items from the hotel room. Those are admitted for all purposes. And
Those are.
Objection to, in regards to the sufficiency of the arrest warrants in this case and the search warrants that led to the state obtaining this documentation. So, that we're contesting both the arrest warrant, the information contained in the arrest warrant, and the search warrants. That, first of all, we believe the arrest warrants that led to our clients being detained, and then the search warrants that led to this information. So we just want to make sure we have a running objection.
all right, the court will grant your request for a running objection to the items discovered as a result of the search warrant and any items seized as a result of the arrest warrant for these items.
Yes.
So they
You have
challenge.
Other objection other than the.
Well,
There
Yeah.
wasn't a pretrial motion. They're challenging the evidence obtained through a faulty arrest warrant in mid-trial. Okay.
Or they are just making sure that they have a running objection because they did bring this up pre-trial.
Okay.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I haven't watched any of the pre-trial stuff.
Well, did the judge just grant it?
They granted the running objection, but not the actual objection.
Oh, okay. That's what I was confused by. Because normally, yeah, you would present a running objection. That's fine. The judge is still going to deny it. But I thought she granted it. And that's what confused me. I was like, well, if she granted it, then obviously there's something there. Why wasn't this brought up pretrial?
Yeah.
All right. Very good.
I mean, I understand the court's position as far as any information contained from.
No, hold on, let's, ladies and gentlemen, jury, I'm gonna send you back to the jury room and create something that just occurred to me. So, I will send you out for 15 minutes.
Oh, all right. Okay. So something's going on with the warrants, apparently.
Okay. I like that was heard in front of the jury a little bit.
Yeah.
Trying to file my last complaint of the year.
Oh, for fuck! Why? I want to listen to this. Why? No. Whoever is in charge of the camera, fired. This what? This
Can you
is
not
the
hear it at all?
This is the most interesting.
Yes.
In the entire trial so far. and we don't get to hear it.
There's no audio even.
No audio.
Oh.
This is by far the most interesting that had happened throughout the trial. We don't get to hear anything about.
That's ridiculous. Now that we're done with the interesting stuff, let's bring the boring witness back on the stand.
We have State's Exhibit 331, which is the affidavits for search warrant and search warrant in regard to the blue and purple
Phones?
yes, the blue purple HUAWEI.
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 This isn't Law and Seaward. This is local Dallas Fox.
So that's the first thing we have. And then additional, is that what you offered?
Yes.
And he's been talking all about it.
He's not talking about, he's just talking about the extracted.
So we're offering that for record purposes of this.
The affidavit for search warrant.
Yes. And the affidavit for search warrant and search warrant. Together.
Great. That helps. All right, so the State's Exhibit 331, affidavit for search warrant and search warrant regarding the blue and purple Huawei phones. The offered for record purposes is admitted for record purposes only. Okay. Did it work or no?
It did, Joe.
Oh, okay. All right. Are any of these phones actually in evidence?
Yes, not all of these phones are in evidence, Your Honor, just the ones that were just offered.
And admitted that were found with Nina Morano when she was arrested?
Yes, and
Those three?
those three, and then two other phones, a blue iPhone and a black T-Mobile cell phone.
Where were those two?
Those were with Lisa Dykes when she was arrested.
Yes, I see that. Okay, so we've got 5 phones then.
We have 5 phones in
evidence
right now.
Right.
In evidence, correct.
Okay, now I'm gonna read this report.
Prosecution really knows where they have their evidence.
Do you know what this warrant issue is? Can you offer any more than? What
No idea.
Okay.
No idea. They are. Logically, it's about why did they actually have her on a warrant for capital murder?
Sure.
What was the actual evidence? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, trying to get some of the relief.
No, are we at 79 yet?
78.
What's going on?
I know, it's awful.
Oh yeah, Jingles is up no matter if it's a Law and Seaward. And they put on the AC.
And that makes that door. They gotta grease that door.
So,
And what the? Oh, for fuck's sake! Oh, for fuck's sake! Counter up to 7. Oh.
I hate filing in Wayne County. Let's see if this thing goes through. Why am I looking over Jingle's shoulder?
Yeah, on the streaming. Oh, you will get a Come on, is there nothing else the rest of the day? 7 more minutes. Oh, done.
That's it.
This is so stupid.
That was a disappointing ending to the day.
Yeah,
I wanted to hear
that
those warrant arguments. I wonder if we can.
Yeah, yeah. The most interesting so far in the entire trial, and they cut the audio.
Yeah.
Oh, that was disappointing.
This is Texas, right?
Yeah, Dallas, Texas.
Sometimes they're a little weird with their documents.
Apparently, and the warrants and how to produce them to court.
Well, every prosecutor's weird with their warrants.
Yeah.
Well, what it is. What do you have going on the rest of the day? You got your Friday night stream?
Yeah, that would be in about an hour, my Finally Friday stream.
Okay.
And which will go until you start, I think.
7-ish.
Yeah, which is 1 a.m. my time. But I think that there's a lot of people streaming later today. You have Danny Ann streaming later.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if Jeff is having 1 a.m. today as well, or
yeah,
7
Jeff's
p.m.?
streaming with his mods today.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm just gonna do my Christmas stream and go for as long as will be good, to do, and then we'll see how the evening goes.
Oh, I know. Notifications are forked on every streamer because
Aaron, Olivia, you need to be in Discord because that's where you get all the good notifications.
Yeah, I try to post everything on in my Discord.
It's amazing. Discord never fails. It pops up on both of my phones. It pops up on my computer, both of my computers. Anytime there's a notification in Discord, it's chiming everywhere instantly. YouTube can't figure it out.
No, I don't. Yeah, and it's infuriating because people actively wants to have notifications from YouTube to know when people go online.
Mm-hmm.
And Discord people have to take it away because it beeps all the time because they are good at it.
I am everywhere, Brandon. I am everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah, but who's online now? Nobody? Valhalla Awaits is online. Or is he? Yeah.
Yeah, Valhalla's online. I jumped down with him for a minute. He's got that boring ass trial, which is actually, it's getting a little bit more interesting now that the defendants testified. But it's been going on for like a month, and he thought it was gonna be like a 3-day trial. That was gonna be quick.
Yeah, I wonder if they have. Yeah, I don't know, but either way, I'm going to let everybody over to Val, and then my Finally Friday stream starts in an hour, and I have no subjects so far.
Cool.
I'm going to send over the final the final donations to Gigi, and I think with the final 2 we broke close to, I think we broke about $900 in donations to Gigi.
Nice.
So Gigi gets maybe even 1,000. I don't know. I will make the count later.
Don't worry, excited. I'm never online when people want to redirect to me either. We're planning this one, where hopefully maybe Nick will be
Mm.
ending as I'm starting and he can redirect. We'll see how it works.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten a redirect in like 3
Mm.
months.
Yeah. Yeah, I will be sending over the final numbers to Brandon, and he will round it up to 1,000. But I do think we are there. I'm not sure. I will do the calculations.
I didn't
And,
chip in that 25, Brandon, but I did chip in.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I will do the calculations. I will send the total to Brandon, and he will round it up, unless we already got there. But Gigi, I hope we made a dent in your bills, and you can get a decent Christmas this year. And for you who don't know, Gigi became ill about a month and a half ago, and that ruined her economy. And once she told me how ruined it was, I kind of did this fundraising for her, and she didn't know. And but here we are. I hope you get a decent Christmas at least and can pay off some of your bills. But until in 50 minutes, I will see you all back here for my Finally Friday casual end of the work week Christmas stream. Yeah, whatever's. All right. Yeah. Okay. See you later all. Bye-bye.
Bye.